The big desk.
Whoa.
I don't know what that was, but here I am. Yeah, 2 o'clock on a busy Tuesday afternoon here, guys. Let's get right into a few things we need to know. I was just having a look at both the 30-year and the 10-year making session lows right now. So yields downside in a big way. The dollar coming off a little bit to kick off the afternoon, but stocks don't really care at this point. Frank Caberna coming up this afternoon in about 45 minutes. We'll get his take on busy week worth of data that could affect these markets as well, including non-farm payrolls coming up on Friday morning at 8:30 if you haven't heard. Meanwhile, big moves for Bitcoin once again, tagging 44,000 at the top. Pretty impressive, 44,086 the high right now, 2, 3, 4, 5 days in a row now, straight higher for BTC. So some of the crypto-related stocks also participating in this rally. The NASDAQ, if anyone's looking at it right now, 0,000. So dead flat as we head into the final 2 hours. But a lot of green on this board when it comes to the NASDAQ, specifically big tech, but being offset by some of the more software-related names. Meta down 1%, Adobe, CRM, Oracle, all 0.5% through to about 1.5% there. So there is enough negativity here, including in some of the semiconductors as well, AMD, Intel, 0.5%, 1% there, offsetting what is green right now. What is green elsewhere? Eli Lilly, Merck, some of the pharma-related stocks down here, Amazon, Walmart, Costco, all green as far as retailers are concerned. There is a little bit of negativity in this group, however, including that is Lululemon. We'll touch on that, I'm sure, coming up this afternoon off a note this morning. Tesla, 1.5%, pretty good day overall for Tesla, once again, trying to bounce. This, I really couldn't find anything on this today. It started going right out of the gate, really hasn't looked back. Sphere 3D, 43, 44%. Not a huge float. It's about 10 million shares, but it's not tiny either. We've been used to those 400,000, 500,000 share floats of late, making big moves. But ANY, pretty good look. There's the market overall, pretty good look as well. Still holding these lows on the daily chart. If you missed it this morning, Moody's coming out, downgrading China's credit outlook going forward. So ADRs across the board, we'll get into that. Downside right out of the gate this morning. Magnificent 7 seeing some profit taking as well. But as we saw, it was mostly, if I go back over here, it's mostly up here. Meta, really the only one at this point, still in negative territory. Oh yeah, crypto as well. Let's get right into what is moving this afternoon, including some of the equities tied to another big day, guys, for BTC.
Oh boy! Yeah, I've been trading a little bit of Tesla. I was just looking at Tesla. It's on my mind right here. GBTC today, about 60 or so fills. Trying to get this thing right here. It's very, very busy. Up 6% today goes GBTC, and Bitcoin. I'm watching it, man. 43.7 right now. So congratulations as we go. Oh my God. On what a great move it's been upside for this. You can see a lot of scalps back and forth. It was actually Max and Obi were here and they're asking me about it. I said it's great to trade, but it hasn't really moved. Like if you had them way up, that's great. I mean, I feel like you just want to play the trend here on the Bitcoin. It's been very, very tough to scalp back and forth with GBTC, but it is a nice tool to use for sure. What an amazing day it was, or has been so far for all of this. I mean, there's Coinbase again, and I actually should have been looking at this upside at 148 again. We already said the story earlier on about why Coinbase has been a double up this month, and it's because of all the ETFs claiming to, and not claiming to, hopefully they will, be holding their coins on Coinbase. So. Anyways, all right, Coinbase starting to go back down now, 140, 150. I don't mean to get off topic here, but again, we don't have Tesla on there. Look what's going on with Tesla right now. Remember earlier I was pumping up in the chat, I was like, yo, we got to find out what's going on with Tesla. And then the only thing that we ever heard about was, I'm going to get some more out of Roblox as this is starting to get really nice, was that everyone was just hyped up about the Cybertruck. And you remember what I said? if that's the reason, then we need to be selling Tesla, because it's not good enough. That hype is going to run out. And as you could see, Tesla all the way back into where we sort of consolidated earlier. Again, I'm not sure if we can go to the charts. We'll just show this quickly. There it is right there. It's just this consolidated area. I'm thinking about going long almost right now on Tesla, using this 237 as a bottom. Oh, I cleaned this up yesterday. I'm going to have to get rid of some of these indicators here, because you are coming right back to a 50-period moving average right now on a 20-minute chart, which is what I like to look at. So I'll clean this back up. But yeah, crypto, man, crypto wins again. 100% right about that one. Are you a crypto kind of guy there, or you hold a little bit? You don't?
Just hold a little bit.
Just a little bit. Yeah, okay.
That's all
me
it is.
too.
Yeah, nothing too crazy.
I think we got to have some exposure to it.
Definitely.
Just kind of, I actually OB treat crypto kind of like an asset class, where I'm trying to put between like zero. We can go back and forth here if you want. We're having a little bit of a conversation. There we go. Little bit of hold it as if it was a piece like gold, or maybe even, I don't know. I'm not a big proponent of like the 60-40 split, but if you want to have some fixed income in your portfolio, why not have something that's maybe a little bit more volatile, like a Bitcoin as well? But is Bitcoin any more volatile than the markets?
I think it's probably, I don't know. It's like, it seems a lot more volatile in cases, but the market itself is pretty volatile as well.
First
but
of all,
in terms of like percent gains and losses, I think, yeah, exactly. Then if you consider the market has 1,000% runners every month or so.
Okay, individual
right?
stocks.
So like, yeah, the market itself as a whole, maybe not. But within the market, I think there is possibility for more volatility if you're comparing Bitcoin. But if you're looking at like smaller like altcoins and stuff like that,
like I'm comparing Bitcoin,
okay, then
as
maybe
as in like something that you may want to invest in, and then even dollar cost average to a maximum of 5% of your portfolio, or depending, maybe that's too much, but depending on where you are with that, I think you should have some crypto.
Yeah, no, I think it makes sense to keep it.
You don't have to. I mean, there's some people that think it's a complete hogwash and that. So, oh yeah. This is what I want to get at about the difference between crypto and holding a stock. And the main difference is, there's lots of differences, but as a day trader and trading it as a swing trade, is the fact that it's open 24 hours.
Yeah.
So if you're long a firm, or you're doing something like that, and all of a sudden it could gap down or up, to your point, 20%. Like you're saying, there's 1,000% runners, which there are, but you could hold a good name that gaps 4, 5, 6%. We've come in before and seen Tesla down 5%, 7%, not even on earnings, right? Yep. You can't get out of that until you log in and the stock's trading. Look, some will trade at 4 a.m., 7 a.m. There is going to be liquidity, but the idea is that the move happens. You could set stop orders on crypto 24 hours a day. So you want to go long now with crypto at 43. By the way, you said we maybe see 45 today. You said that like when it was at 43.1 or something. It's at 43.8 right now, Obi. Yeah, so we are getting close to that level. But let's just say you want to go long now with an out at 40. You can just set that. You have a very defined out of 7 or 8%, and hopefully it goes up a little higher than that. So, anyways, that's my thought about crypto.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I think you can be holding some, but you can also get involved, right? These markets are especially if you've been following Bitcoin. It's like the market is very cyclical, so you can get involved every time things start to get hot, right? So I think that's another way to kind of interact with crypto in general. But yeah, no, in terms of volatility, I do think like probably individual altcoins probably do a lot more, right? A lot more than they probably go like tens of thousands of percent.
I think we have to be careful when we talk about the crypto market, and very specific to maybe even the top 10 names that aren't overly volatile. They're still volatile, but I mean, crypto moving from 40 to 44,000 is 10%. I mean, okay, Roblox, I'm trading it right now, is down 2.5.
Yeah, if something goes from $40 to 44,
that's an everyday move for Carbon.
Pretty much the same thing. Yeah.
So, anyways, okay. Wow, someone put, what's up, Faded Trader? 33% of your portfolio in crypto in June. Hell yeah. Oh, I did retweet. Shout out. We always have something on the after show, the market recap show, called Sean's Tweets. Well, today Sean's Tweets will be sponsored by this crazy looking dude right here, who on May 20, first of all, this guy's probably super rich because if he's in Bitcoins back in May of 2010, then yeah, first of all, I got a little black olives on there. I like that. A little bit of Papa John's action, but it's right here. 10,000 Bitcoins for 2 Papa John's pizzas. So he's a winner. I don't know if that's the right guy or not. I mean, you might not, I don't want to, maybe he's a winner, maybe he's not. But the idea here is that this guy here, Jeremy Studorviant, 10,000 Bitcoins. I don't know if he was the owner of said Papa John's location or whatever, but there's the story there.
He has the 10,000 right now.
Somebody does. Well, he probably doesn't have it right now.
Maybe.
But thank you to Bogdan Kent there. If you are in the chat, thank you so much because I said it was 22 Bitcoins and I thought that was absurd. This was 10. I mean, what's the math? 10,000 times 40,000? I mean, I can't do that math. So back over to the desk to people that maybe can.
Dutch or something. You want to tell them why? Okay. All right, let's talk Apple here. We were discussing this India story this morning. Sean, I did look into it a little bit further, and we were correct in the assumption that it's the older models, obviously the iPhone 15. So long story short, 12, 13, and 14 still have the old Lightning cable. 15 is the only one with the new USB-C. Basically, they don't have the capacity or the ability to change older models, which they are still making and selling in the India market. So I think that explains it.
I think that that's fair. I think you're asking too much of them to be able to go down ex post facto. But in general, we saw what the European Union did. They forced the hand of Apple to switch from the Lightning to the USB-C. With respect to India itself, obviously Apple not wanting to upset India here as they're looking to kind of rely more on it for its manufacturing base, which is something we've talked about often on the show.
Yeah, so it wasn't about the 15 or the newer phones, but it was that they still make the older models still in India for local sales as well.
Yeah, that's, you know, the sun shines on a dog's rear end a couple times a day, and I got it right that time. So, yeah, no, when I saw that story, I knew that they was only in the 15s, but that makes sense. I didn't realize that they were sort of still producing the older models. So, and again, India's been, we talked about this on the midday show, INDA, the Indian market is absolutely, it's not absolutely. I mean, the world markets are going crazy right now anyways, so India just following along. But I really think that Apple sort of investing in India, smart move. I think that the back and forth with China, that talk is, look, it always goes well, but at the end of the day, it's like Biden can't get an answer, President Trump, like it's just, it's so, that market is so volatile when you have political sort of, I don't want to say unrest, but you know, you guys know what I'm getting at there with China. So, you know, that's a risk, and I like that Apple's divesting from that a little bit. Obviously, Foxconn is still the Apple of their production eye, but huge move up for Apple. It's going to take out these highs, I think, by the end of the year. But we'll wait to see on that one. It doesn't take too many more days like this. And Obi, today we were down underneath 190 or so, I think. Off the open, yeah, basically right at 190, and then all of a sudden, boom, goes the dynamite to the upside. Now, we did short there, made a little bit of money, but then just now, we were trying to go long off of 193. I was talking with Patrick and Justin here behind me, and the thing is that it kept going up, and I was telling them I was going 1-to-1, and that's exactly what happened. It went up into the 20s, then we got stopped out when it broke below, and we got stopped out right there at 89 or whatever. So it didn't really do much. Apple right now is kind of sleeping, and then what I was telling everybody was, if the market's going to do this, like, we're going to have to just trade different names. You got to get away from Softy, Meta, Apple. Like, if you're going to look at the NASDAQ or even the ES, right? It's like when you're stuck in a range like this, back and forth, maybe 20, 30 handles, that's not, you're gonna get gamed. And what I mean by that is like, there's gonna be other traders and algos out there that know exactly what we're doing. We're trying to scalp these levels. They're probably even watching, hey, what's up, algos? And it's just like, you don't need to be part of that, which is why I flipped over to a Roblox that is down 1.5%, and then I shorted it. So again, relative weakness into a market that's not doing anything. So let's just find the best shorts, which I think we do right here, and then trade them accordingly. So we're back in on Roblox. We still got Palantir. This Palantir long is from the morning, so we'll talk about that in a minute. But those are my thoughts on India. I see Apple on India, but on India and on Apple, anything different, or are you thinking?
Yeah, no, I think that again, this is a little bit of some older news, but it seems like the sentiment is definitely there off the open. But I think Apple expanding into such a wide consumer base and really putting their name out there is definitely good for business, right? Yeah. This is what I think. It's over I don't know the specific population, but over 1 billion people.
India?
Yeah,
I think it's
it's way more than that, but I think I can safely assume that it's at least over 1 billion.
Let's
right?
say greater than 1 billion.
Yeah, greater than 1 billion at least. So I think that's a great add onto Apple's consumer base if they're really pushing in that market. And I think if that's what this kind of this drive off the open was due to, I think that's pretty valid there. A little bit of a catalyst driven move, but other than that, even if it wasn't, we saw that it kind of broke past yesterday's highs. Now I know we did try to short it up here, kind of near these highs, and then once again near these highs in and around that 192, and then once again I think again at that 193. But yeah, not really the best idea to get in front of that move and be on the front side of a catalyst like that. Clearly, we're learning lessons every day, and yeah. So I, if you guys remember, I was short earlier. But this move is sustaining quite the level here, as it's sustained over 50% of the move, holding above 92 halves here on Apple. Let's see if there's a continuation off of this news and this trend.
Just before we go back there, so I cleaned up the chart, and you guys remember what I was talking? Whoopsies! What did I just do? I just punched into Tesla. That's a mistake. No, I got to get out of Tesla. But look at that bounce off Tesla right there. I'm just going to punch out. I did not mean to be in this trade. But right there, sorry, I was on another stock there. I thought I was doing something else. This move right here. Tesla just now, I just cleaned it up. Just now, remember I said the 50 period, and this is maybe where we want to get long Tesla? It just bounced off $1.70 off that bid. So if anybody caught that right there, I've cleaned it up now. I didn't even realize it was a nightmare like that, as we look at a little bit of longer charts here as we head into the afternoon. So I'll keep it like that and see if we can, as we scroll through, find some different opportunities for you. But there's Tesla. That's a keystroke error, guys. I thought I was punching out of some Roblox there, but I was not. So there's Tesla. We went long by accident and got out. But there it is, Tesla back to 239. I think if you want to fade this, you got to wait for VWAP. So 241, 242. Back over to the desk.
All right, let's talk some GitLab earnings out after the close yesterday. Nice move, not only after the close, but right back down out of the gate this morning. And then Sharif and I were just talking about this. I mean, everybody gets stopped out, and then it comes right back to where it was in the pre-market.
Unreal.
And does nothing all day long.
Consolidate.
Very strange.
Yeah, very awkward. Yeah, there was some sort of liquidity vacuum there. Couldn't really understand that. They beat on the top and bottom line. Revenue grew 32% year over year, so it was a good look. The guide was also really good. They're looking for $157 to $158 million in revenue in Q4. There is that association with Amazon Q, which was announced last week, which is going to integrate their platform with AWS. So it's a good look here. Let's see how they do.
I just saw Oatly is up 20% today, 18%. I'll check that. Daily chart, however, a little bit more productive for this one, guys, holding above some key levels.
Oatly, oh man.
GitLab,
Go ahead, yep.
Some pretty solid moves here off of earnings. Now I'm just reading some of the news that's been coming in along the way here during the day. A lot of upgrades, some downgrades here, price target adjustments, I guess, from different analysts here. You can see right here Mizuho 65 from 51. But the bigger picture here, we kind of identified some of these levels in the morning session, and yeah, once we reclaim above this 58.70, take a look at how this shelf is holding right now, just just above that 59. That's some pretty solid strength holding post earnings. So yeah, definitely an interesting look here, holding on to its strength on the day, kind of maybe potential for a little bit of a multi-day move. We see a lot of these earnings names that do well when they kind of chop around and they eventually hold above their highs. They have a tendency to kind of start to trend and maybe continue the move a little bit before they fizzle off. But yeah, maybe we can observe some of that going forward. But this hold of that 59 is definitely interesting.
Yeah, we don't, I shouldn't say we, I don't normally trade, well, I shouldn't say that. I mean, I've been trading earnings a lot. What I was going to get is I don't normally trade earnings early. And as you can see, this is exactly why. I mean, I basically telegraphed this play early. I said that this could have a CRM moment, and that's almost what it did. It fell down. It was up 13 or 14%. It pretty much gave it all. I mean, it gave it all back sub $2, right? It went to 55.20. Yesterday's close was 53.20. So that, you know, you're going to have to be looking at that and then be like, basically, I don't want to say like an extreme tape reader or anything like that, because I don't know if it would have given it to you. The volume didn't really capitulate to the downside. If anything, it's this big whoosh candle right there at 58 down to 56. You could have, so I would have said, see this bottom right here, that bottom wick, that probably would have stopped me out. Like, for example, I would have gone long seeing that bottom wick. So I'd probably been long in here, 56.25. And then on a break of that bottom wick, I probably would have got out, which would have been fine. And then maybe back in right here on this break, 56.50, that high break. So that, to me, that was a trade. And then after then, I think is exactly what Obi just said. You know, you wait for a baseline, and this one was basing over VWAP, which is perfect, really. So that's a good trade. So 59 long, it comes in again, probably worth testing on that as Roblox continues to make lows here. So let's see, not lows, but lower, trying to break low of the day right now, Roblox. So let's hold on to that one. But yeah, so far so good here. Today it's been a great day to trade. It's been a little bit back and forth. But yeah, key names, GitLab, no trades for you on it, I don't think. No, so we didn't trade at all, but I think that was good work. I think we analyzed that pretty good.
All right, Chinese ADRs have been a little bit quiet so far today. We get 3 days in a row, or maybe it was 4 actually, gapping to the downside here for Alibaba if you missed it this morning. Moody's throwing cold water on the Chinese economy, their credit outlook anyways going forward, downgrading it across the board. So yeah, pretty ugly daily chart forming on a lot of these. This is BABA, but a few of them starting to look like this.
Yeah, from stable to negative for the short term, like still holding on to that A1 long-term credit rating for China. We'll have to see how they do, but essentially this is all really stemming from the local governments that have been hurting financially and the central government having to bail them out, whether through bailouts or loans. It's a bit of an unstable situation. We know how they're doing with respect to unemployment. When they stopped reporting youth unemployment, so we'll have to see how they do. They're still expecting growth in 2024 to be about 4%, so no change there.
I was just noticing here, like it's less than a 50-cent range today on the entire day here for Alibaba.
Wow.
Yeah, we okay. So we shorted Alibaba, and it wasn't horrible there today, but it wasn't great either. Or sorry, we went long Alibaba. Sorry, when it broke, you guys saw me doing that. We're short Roblox now. You guys saw me take this trade as it broke through the day's high earlier on. The most it got to, and I felt pretty good about it. We got the highs of the day here on Alibaba. This is the high. This is the high 55s. So you could see that was a pretty good trade, but again, very actually was not a good trade. Like it broke above the high and went 10 or so cents. Then we tried it again off that. We got out. Then we tried again and got out and got out. So very small hits on Alibaba. I thought that we could play some kind of strength back. It looks like right now we're right back to this exact same level again. So I don't know. What do you want to do with this? I mean, that's really the question at this point. So I still think we sort of stay here with it. See what it gives us. Possibly a good short coming through. We are short. Like I said, Roblox is trying to break. We're bidding 50s. That's starting to come back in. So again, back into a key level. I like this one underneath everything. Alibaba is actually above everything. So and what I mean by everything is VWAP and the 50-period moving average. So I feel like this is a long. I just don't have the stones to take it. But I like Alibaba long here. We already did it once. Didn't work out. So a little bit shell-shocked. But again, down a cup of coffee on it, and I don't mind this trade. It's Alibaba. Could possibly be breaking longer right now. I say trade the FXI, which I may get into this. I don't love, whoa, that's a decent size. I don't love China though, but we talked about FXI and the way it looks here on the ETF. We've broken below, and maybe down here, 2021 is something to talk about from those October lows, but China's been pretty sad. When you see the NASDAQ going this way, Obi, and China going the other way, you saw India going upside as well. I can't say that I'm positive about the Chinese stocks right now.
Yeah, that's I wonder who that is on the bid. That's a pretty pretty
it's
big
an ETF, so.
Yeah, true. Okay, so it makes a little sense there. Yeah, all right. So I'm just looking at JD here. Again, Baba kind of holding the lows as well, and then JD kind of doing something similar as well. Kind of you have this base that kind of formed over the course of a few hours. Very, very clear here, just underneath 26, and some interesting move here. As I don't know if this is news driven or anything like that, but the highest volume candle on the day in the past 15 minutes. And it's raging to the upside, kind of pushing for that high of day, maybe looking for that gap fill all the way into that 26 halves yesterday's close, which we kind of gapped down from. But yeah, retesting those high of days. But yeah, that Baba consolidation for multiple hours there, including the pre-market, the 72, super strong, and giving us a little bit of reversion back into yesterday's close there on.
All right, Nio holding on to a decent day here outside of, as we mentioned this morning, outside of the rest of these Chinese-related stocks downside. NIO still higher on the day, but only just 2.5%. Still a pretty decent day coming off Q3 delivery numbers and earnings that topped estimates right across the board.
Up 46% year over year, 117% quarter over quarter. Good look for Nio. I wasn't a believer, but this is really interesting. Vehicle deliveries, 55,432, which is a 75% increase year over year and 135% increase quarter over quarter. The guidance was good as well. Q4 deliveries between 47,000 and 49,000. Let's see what the rest of the month brings for Nio.
Yeah, I was trying to find, oh, here it is here. There was data that came out along with this suggesting that the company has, oh no, that was revenue climbed 45.9% year over year. But there was data that came out on the delivery side of things that was suggesting that this stock, even though the other two have been not only catching up, but selling more, still holding on to a 45% market share in that quarter for NIO compared to the other two.
Interesting.
Long moves on NIO.
I was just typing to my wife here. Shout out to her. What's up, Marissa? We're going to some sort of a festive event here tonight. Doesn't stop. All right, so that is NIO. Look, NIO has been a good stock. It's going to, I almost just threw up in my mouth again. It's because, like, I said the only time I would trade this is short 8 on NIO today. I mean, I do not want to rewind the tape on that because I know that's exactly what I said. And the thing is like, it hit 796, like, and it just, look at this, right off the jump, you know, kind of shoulda, woulda, coulda, but didn't. So, you know, that's the short there. I could see this barcoding the rest of the day. To me, we take this down and then maybe you go short. So let's just look at this quickly. Definitely, as we continue to, I don't want to say definitely, but you know, you're starting to make lower highs as here and then there, then there, then there, and then now we're here. And it looks like it's trying to take this down. The thing is that during these last few moments here, it's still an hour and a half till the market closes, so there is more time. But, you know, like if I could take that break, then are we stopping here at 45 or whatever this wick bottom is there? So I would say we need to break that. So let's do that. If we can break through 42 to the downside, maybe even this, 46. All right, let's do that because I don't know how much we're going to move here today. So let's take this break. If we can break below 47, I'm going to take the short. So there. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm not trying to force a trade here. I just see this sort of trending down, and I feel kind of like this Roblox trade, like we may be able to sit in this trade and let it just sort of bleed down into the bottom here. So I'm not going to take it yet. Obviously, if we bump up, I think we can support. Well, it's not going to get to VWAP today, I don't think. But any sort of a bump up, we can short as well. But why not put an order to say, if we break below 47, let's just get short. That'll put us short 46 or 45. And then hopefully we take that out. And then the rest will tell its stories. So this should follow down. So I feel like at most it'll be a 6 or 7 cent hit because we'll definitely get out if we break down above 7, whatever the 200 period moving average is at that time. So I'm going to put that trade in right now to get short, whatever. I would say probably maybe 25, 30, 40% or so of the total that I would have taken up here. So something like that. This was just good because you have the 8 break. Like that was a fantastic trade, but we don't have it. So yeah, 7:45 break. How about that, Obi?
Yeah, I think we kind of established like a longer term trend that's been happening on Nio, right? Every pop, a lot of these pops keep on getting sold into over and over again since some of these highs in around August, right? So coming in today, looking, I guess you can be looking for a similar kind of action there, where pops get sold into quite aggressively and don't really last very long. And sure, yeah, it kind of does negate this line I have drawn in, but the fact of the matter is, like, we're not, like, the line is not going to be perfect. We're looking to short into pops by kind of defining that there is an overall kind of downtrend on a multi-day time frame, right? So, yeah, let's take a look at that. You have some nice strength off the open, but right off the open, this is a 15-minute candle. You can see how hard the first 15-minute candle action gets sold into. Take a look at that top wick. Very, very aggressive, pushes it right back into this pre-market range. But overall, since kind of recovering and attempting those highs again and failing that 8, once again, we do come back into this consolidation area, 750s, now breaking down and potentially coming in towards low of day there. So I think that's a pretty solid look there, Sean. Every time this name kind of pops, it does get sold into aggressively. So unless and until it stops doing that, I think it's good to keep that kind of perspective on it.
Okay, that's it. Sorry, I thought we were going back to Brendo there, but we are not, so that's good. Join us just in a couple minutes now, only about 15 minutes or so. We'll have Frank Caberna from IG to come on and talk all about everything crypto. No, he'll be talking about fixed income, interest rates, and stuff like that. Maybe we can ask him about crypto. But here's my Palantir trade. I'm only in 2 names. This one, it's gonna look, and again, like just look left, like this little area right there. Yesterday's sort of bump up there. It was a market on close and balance of 2.5 billion, I believe it was yesterday, right? And so we got a little bit of a bump up there on Palantir yesterday. Palantir is getting, for me, it's getting close to a long-term buy zone. Right now. By the way, what did we just do to NIO, by the way? Like, you and I here just made this stock move pretty much more than it has.
No, it was already breaking down.
Was it?
Flat bottom. Yeah, it was at the flat bottom.
At the flat, oh, right here?
It was right, yeah, it was
okay,
right there.
but whatever. I mean, it was, dude, it's been there for an hour. It's been there for a half hour. You know, just hovering.
Yeah, it's been
here.
building into it.
Now it's been building. So here we go.
Yeah.
I should be short. Why am I not short?
Right at low day.
A break of 7.46.
Is that what your sticky note said?
No, I didn't have Nio on.
Okay. I thought you were reading yours.
No. It's what I just said. I'm just surprised I'm not short right now because I'm supposed to be. I thought we were gonna. Anyways, I see the problem. I put offer 746 instead of. I put once it breaks, hit that offer. So right now, we did not get short, but here we go to the downside. As you can see, there we go. We just punched in on the half print there. Got a little bit of action going on. So now we're going to be short. We're short 44.5 or so on this. let's see if it continues to go down. This is that break that we wanted on NIO. I should be short 45s probably, not 46s, but we'll take a 44 right now and see what happens. So far so good, and we'll just wait to see what happens now. But there it is, NIO to the downside. We are, I mean, money. Look at NIO, man. That was a great trade to short that one, and it's now broke below that stays low right here as we have 40 cents on this move. 40.80 was what I was looking at. Nice move to the downside. We have 77s, not 80s. Huge move down, so I'm really happy with this. This is a great one for Roblox as, again, trading relative weakness into a market that we sort of thought was a little bit weak anyways. So good trade there. Nice downside move. And unfortunately, we should be capturing a little bit of profit on this. And again, I thought 5 cents would be pretty good. I am going to bid. I mean, here we go, man. We gave this to you, so let's go. Here goes Nio. I will take a 41, honestly, and then I'll take a 40, and then if it goes down lower, then we'll just do that. I'm pretty happy with this move. We are right now at lows of the day there for NIO. So let's go a couple more pennies down, and we'll take a little bit more profit on that one. It's NIO. We're looking at it here for a possible short back in again here. NIO. Looking to get some bids off on that. And I only have 10% of Palantir, like not even. So I'm just going to wait to see if we can get this back into 18 bucks. Let's see if NIO prints a little bit lower. We've got Roblox on board here, and it's so far so good. Yeah, that's my nervous spot here. What's up to Ivan there in the chat? Computronics or something? Computronet. Okay. Compute.
Yeah.
Ronet.
I feel like wasn't that the name of like some store at some time? I think.
Store.
I don't know.
CompuNet?
Or like,
maybe CompuNet, maybe.
Maybe. Sounds so familiar.
I am not computing that name. But right now, you can see, anyways, do I see 743 as a double bottom? Yes, I do. That's why I'm trying to get out at 41 and then 40s, and then we'll see about more. Oops, that's Palantir, sorry. And then we'll see more of a bottom here. I don't know. I don't expect much to happen here, to be honest with you. So if the market gives it up, fine. Right now, I'm hearing Shopify. Damn it, I can't believe I sold this name still. Shopify up 2%, and I didn't sell it all. I sold a quarter of it. But look at this name, man, really getting aggressive today. Shopify up 2%. So again, look at the difference. Look at this relatively strong name right there off VWAP. You would go long, right? As opposed to Roblox, which is a relatively weak name to which we're going short. It's almost an opposite. Flip these charts over. You know, you just got to have, look at this, you just got to have a bias one way or the other. It goes to our point again, will be about not just having a bias in the market. And that's what I was telling Justin behind me, is that you got to use the market as your leading indicator and then find stocks that play nice with whatever way you're thinking, right? And so Roblox, we were thinking short, so that was a pretty easy one there when it broke sort of this not the days low, this sort of pre-market bottom there. So we found that short, and just like I wish I would have found this long on Shopify as it continues to break above 74, which is pretty sweet, man. I feel like this is going to get an upgrade tomorrow. I feel like if you're going to swing trade something, Shopify could be a good one.
Yeah, I think going back to your point about respecting that market pressure and really keeping your bias. Again, learning lessons every day on that. Yesterday we got a little too aggressive too fast, and that's kind of what capitulated us yesterday. And today I am once again capitulated, but I guess for different reasons. So we are kind of trading in the simulator once again for this later half today. Just trying to get some good decision making in. Again, morning was very flustering. I was too aggressive in the sense where I gave my stops too wide, and obviously the market pressure, as you guys observed, was quite strong there. Apple, Amazon, everything and their uncle was super strong right off the open, and we did get a little too short biased on that and leave it too much space. So I think the fact of the matter is, I think Sean points out a good point there. And again, like I mentioned before, I was talking to Wayne about this last night, kind of just keeping a directional bias and really getting specific with your trading plan. So going forward, again, it feels like every day you find some more improvements that you can make when the market really tests your systems, right? We kind of I forget what's that book, Atomic Habits, kind of mentions where you fall to the level of your systems, right? So clearly, when the market is a little bit strong and you're not really respecting it, today's a classic day of where I'm falling to my systems and I have to reassess and kind of strengthen those systems and get more meticulous with certain parameters and maybe even clean up a little bit of the routine at home, right? If you're not sleeping on time, if you're not really resting up properly, and if you're in a rush in the morning, that doesn't necessarily help the case where you're pretty much like shooting yourself in the foot when you're already trying to work on your systems to begin with, right? It's not like we come in here with perfect systems. It's a work in progress, and you have to do anything and everything that would potentially support that progress, right? And a big part of that is cleaning up your routine when you're not at the desk here trading, right? And because a lot of that discipline, a lot of that I guess self-respect and I guess kind of quelling the ego, in your personal life really does trickle into your trading. And we kind of discussed on the bridge around lunchtime where I was just talking with some of the guys on the floor where if ego is definitely one issue that I have sometimes, and that can come into the market as getting too aggressive, not wanting to be wrong, giving it a little bit more space. I'm like, oh yeah, I wanted to get short, but you know what? I'll give it up here. And then you tell yourself this is the real risk the trade deserves, so you kind of give it up to there, and then you let it come and stop you out and be like, okay, well, that might not be the best way to do it. Got to keep the mental in check as much as possible, and that's another benefit of being on such a good floor where you have a solid team of support that really we have each other's backs, and when one of us is kind of frustrated or kind of down in the dumps, you have the others that kind of talk to you. Again, everybody's trading related. Everybody kind of knows and relates to your problems because they're trading here every day. Everybody's kind of on their own path, and that can be really helpful to really assess yourself, kind of give you a second look on your trading and really get critical, right? You can talk about a lot in your own journal, take notes, be critical of yourself, but when you have another 4 to 5 heads kind of talking to you and looking at your trading, looking at how you're carrying yourself in your trading and on the floor, that can really help with the progress. So and I'm truly thankful for that. But yeah, again, to reiterate the point, I am trading in TMS right now, just trying to refocus and make some good decisions. So based on that, we got a little bit long on the Amazon in and around that 146. We can see that 146 was a little bit interesting earlier on, and you can see it fails to follow through to the downside and doesn't really sell off and holds that 146. And when you see that happen, you want to get a little bit long onto that, maybe for a push back up into VWAP, which is what we got. We pieced off a little bit into VWAP, and it went all the way to 147, pieced some off there as well. Alongside with that, as you guys can see, I'm kind of exercising some reps on NVIDIA as well. NVIDIA kind of comes into some of these levels from earlier this morning where sellers were kind of strong underneath the 465. You kind of struggle to get in. 464 kind of happens, and then you come right back into the bottom of the range. That's what I was looking for. Covered most of that position there, but it seems like we are pulling back a little bit further than that. But yeah, those are some of the decisions that I've made so far, and hopefully, let's see what other opportunities present themselves going forward.
I was going to say, as you, great talk there, and good job being in sim mode. Let's see where that takes you. Yesterday you had some good success with that, so we'll see if it can go up. But we're going to be in live mode right now, and I just put on couple positions here. All right, so I put on GameStop. You know, I mean, you know, we had bought it earlier. We got a lot of pops, but eventually it just dropped down. So we're pretty much flat on GME here today. But you know, we're bouncing off 15, so let's wait to see. There's a bid here, and I just wanted to show that to everybody. So now it's right there at now it's right there at 08. Like I'm long right now at 08. So I got some 9s, I got some 8s. My average price is 081 right now, because when I punched 09s, I actually got a dark pool. What a surprise to many of you out there that there's some dark pools on some of these meme stocks right now. And of course, those are hidden orders and things like that. And as you're looking at the level at time in sales right now, the only thing that's going to be actually a lit venue is something that either comes red or green. All of these blues that you're seeing right now are in between. So these are like shaved orders or half prints or just like, I know it's a lot of crap. I agree with all this, but it just doesn't happen on AMC and on GameStop. It happens literally on every single name because there's routers and there's machines in there, of course, that will pick off orders. And I don't, you know, sometimes it gets a little bit dicey because people are not trusting, of course, of the market. And you could see even there, look, there's 5,000 clean. So you could see, there you go. There's another, there you go. See how this is all coming red? So they're now hitting. So there's no more in between. They're having to take out the 08s if they wanted. So that's where you're getting K is at Jex, which is what that is. So that's the moniker there for the gateway. You always say gates. So that's, we're not talking Bill. These are the gateways. Oh, there it is. So now it's starting to go down. So this is not going to be rocket science again. My out for this trade is a break of that bottom of the day of $15. This is not rocket science. I don't like that we just took that out. I thought it would have bounced by now. So right now, you know, you see like dead man walking and things like that. I feel like this will take out 15. I mean, unless there's a huge order down here, which there doesn't look to be. There was just 70,000 on the bid at 08. It looks like only 35,000 on the bid here at 15. So let's wait to see. I don't want to say we are completely dead on the water on this trade, or I want to took it, but that's a new trade there. Another new trade that we have on board is AMD. And again, this has just come back into 118. I want to give it about 10 cents of downside risk. So AMD, we're long right now. This probably not. I just liked it there at 118. Thought we had a chance to go back up there if the market did rip. So we're long right now. We're long at 118.05. We're not going to average in. That's that. If it comes back in and prints us lower, we'll get out of it. But Roblox is cooking right now. Palantir Nio, we got our low bids as well. As we take out the low of the day, we got 40s. Let's see if this one continues to go down. But hey, let's see what Frank's got going on over there. Frank, interesting move in Bitcoin today, 43.6. I don't know if you have any interest in that, but maybe you do. Bitcoin making the move today.
There we go. Are you a Bitcoin owner, Mr. Caberna?
I actually am. Yeah, I've been dipping my toe back in the last few months here in the world of crypto, and so yeah, we have a joke around the office. We're not allowed to say where's the top in Bitcoin anymore.
There isn't one.
Doesn't appear that there is a top.
There isn't one.
But yeah, glad to have you back here, Brendan. It's been pretty wild since last we spoke, not only in crypto, but especially in interest rates and a host of other markets here. Where do you want to start?
Yeah, the March downside, I guess we'll start with some of these yields and interest rates. The March downside continues. Again, today, I mean, recent lows once again for pick one, basically all of them. If you go out to the last time we spoke, we were touching a little bit on the fact that we need more confirmation from some of the, not only Fed speakers, but maybe Fed Chair Powell himself. We got a double dose back on Friday last week of Mr. Powell. He was able to kind of skirt the subject entirely. It was basically a non-event. He did point to, you know, just more of the same language coming through. They'll do it if they have to, but don't make them because they don't want to, essentially, I think is the way to sum it up. But give me your thoughts here as we head towards non-farm payrolls coming up on Friday. We get that JOLTS number this morning, pretty significantly downside. What do we look for here this week?
Yeah, I think that, I mean, we're going to see either a large reversal of what's been going on the last 2 or 3 weeks, especially or they're just going to fully price in these rate cuts for starting in March of next year. And yeah, the JOLTS number this morning, obviously moving these projections more in the direction of rate cuts, as it was a weaker number than expected. And if non-farm comes in on Friday weaker than expected, I think you'll see another dose of what we've got here today. But it's really setting up, Brendan, for the potential for a huge reversal if we do get an outperforming non-farm. And then we get an FOMC next week where Powell is particularly hawkish because of maybe an outperforming non-farm. And then we have a whole host of CPIs and non-farms between now and that March meeting. But crazy for me, at least, to see now more than a 60% chance of a rate cut in March. I mean, we've got the meeting next week, we've got the meeting in January, and then we've got, according to the market, a more likely than not chance of the rate cuts to start rolling in. And yeah, to your point, we got to this point on, it seems like maybe the last 2 months, Brendan, you correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like the last 2 months have been nonstop unders on all of these numbers, be it inflation, be it job numbers. It's been either at expectations or under, as the economy is towing this golden path to a potential soft landing here. What's really interesting, I think, in the last 24 hours, though, and you see it in today's net changes, is rates are down huge. Again, the 10-year is looking like it's on pace to hit 4% by the end of this week at this pace. Stocks and US dollars and a couple of other markets not trending in the same directions that they have been the last couple of weeks. Gold, another one that I'm sure you and the guys saw this week, put in all-time highs on Sunday night. And since the week has started here, rates are trading at their lows, which theoretically would be bullish for a market like gold. And gold has been trading lower for the last 24, 48 hours, even as rates start to trade lower and lower and lower. Stocks not having the same zeal to the upside as they have in past weeks. And so I don't know if the correlation has just changed, Brendan, and stocks and gold and Forex, all these different markets have essentially squeezed all the juice out of the interest rate story as they possibly could. Or are the current projections of interest rates next year getting down to around 3.5%? Is this that tipping point you and I have been talking about, where if they price in 3% or lower, that could potentially mean that they're pricing in an economic crash, not an economic soft landing. And so, yeah, I wonder if either the correlation changed, of course, correlations change all the time, or is the market right now, the economy as a whole, kind of teetering on that level of soft landing, and anything lower is a crash landing in terms of interest rate projections for next year?
Yeah, I mean, we've been discussing the fact that on the way up, the market really wasn't buying the magnitude, I guess, of the overall problem that they were having to deal with. And maybe, we're going to have the same experience on the way back down here once again, where the market's almost outpacing the expectation of how far it'll come off. And to your earlier point, going back to that last PCE number, it was essentially in line. There was a couple of aspects of it that were, still kind of holding on with dear life, fingernails on the edge of the cliff even, to that rate that was expected. So there are still certain areas of this that really aren't seeing as significant of a move downside as maybe they would like to see. But I mean, is the correlation there? Most likely, we'll find out, I guess, coming up on Friday. That'll be the next kind of checkpoint as far as the market is concerned with this jobs data. But I wanted to get your thoughts as well on December specifically. It's a month where people are obviously paying attention to many other things. There's a lot of year-end type of things going on in the equity market with positioning and portfolio movement heading into the end of the year. as far as the December Fed meeting, we haven't been in this position for such a long time, but as far as the December Fed meeting is concerned, does that get a bit of a backseat in these conditions?
I mean, in my mind, it doesn't at all. Of course, there's always so much assigned to seasonality in the market, especially around this time of year. A lot of people, and some of this stuff is circumstance. There's what, 2 data points essentially of a stock market crash in the last 20 years. And it just so happened to fall in September, October. Everybody thinks September, October, the seasonally volatile times of year. Bounce back in, December and January, the seasonally bullish times of year. There's not a lot of volatility in the summertime. I don't assign so much, especially to the stock market, in terms of seasonality. And also, I think to your point, the non-farm this Friday and the FOMC next week, I know that it seems like we jump on here every week or couple of weeks and be like, these are some really important numbers coming up. These feel like the most important numbers that we've had in a while, especially given the fact that we just showed those odds at 62% chance of a rate cut in March. If Powell comes out next week and he is still set on the fact, to your point, that core PCE is 3.5%, it's not 2%, and it's not falling from 3.5% to 3% to 2.5%. It's falling by 1/10 or 2/10 of a percentage point. And so if you all think that we're going to be cutting rates in March after 2 or 3 more of these inflation numbers, there's multiple inflation numbers, multiple non-farms between now and March, but there's only 3 or 4 before that meeting. And at this pace, that core inflation will still be in the high 2s, low 3s. And it's not only the Fed funds futures, Brendan, obviously, that have priced in this more likely than not chance of a rate cut in March. Every market is. Why do you think NASDAQ is within a stone's throw of all-time highs again? Why do you think gold is at all-time highs? All these different markets are pricing in rates moving lower in a pretty aggressive manner. And now they can still move lower in 2024. But like I say, if this non-farm number comes out and it's in line, or even if it's stronger than expected, we've had plenty of times where the JOLTS number did X and the non-farm number did Y. If that comes in higher than expected, or Powell comes out and is just blatantly like, we are, of course, looking at normalizing rates, but that's not going to happen in the next 2 meetings. He's only got 1 meeting between next week and that March expectation of the first rate cut. I think you could see a lot of undoing across all different asset classes, not just interest rates. So yeah, I think this is a big one, because to the flip side, it is, if you're bearish rates and bullish stocks and gold and all these other markets, it is only 60% priced in. And so that 60-40 relationship for the March meeting between December and January's meeting, so essentially, to your point, the last month of the year here, those odds are going to go one way or the other, and all the other asset classes are going to shift in accordance. And so I think that this is the FOMC. It's obviously got to be either this one or the January FOMC that sets the table for either the first rate cut or not the rate cut everybody was expecting. And so for me, this meeting next week is essential, regardless of the time of year.
Yeah, it's a great point. And I mean, yeah, as you said, coming up in a hurry here, as soon as next week, we'll hear from him once again. If we get, and I think it's a week after, correct me if I'm wrong, we get the next CPI, but I'll double check on that. But if we get finally a 2 handle on this, one of the things that I'm going to be paying attention to in the next little while here is when that does come, because it is going to come, whether it's 2.8, 2.9, or anything in between, their target's always been stated at 2%. Theoretically, 2.8% is in that neighborhood. So I mean, they've been talking about whether or not they're going to be willing to move that target at all away from I assume 0%. But at this point, I think a lot of people would be happy with anything.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he dances around this from a rhetoric perspective, and all of their targets. Is it a hard 2%? Is it anything in the 2 to 3% we think is the soft landing, so to speak? Because I mean, to hold yourself to that hard 2% standard is to get that much closer to potential deflation after the fact, and the potential to have to cut rates all the way closer to 0%, where I think they'd like them in the 3 to 4% range. So it'll be really interesting to see how Powell situates himself for a cut, and that's either going to come at next week's meeting, and if he does situate himself and maybe speaks to that, in the 2% range is what we're looking for, what would be deemed more dovish, then maybe you see the all-time highs in NASDAQ and S&P. They're quite close there. But like I say, if he pushes out at this point, if he pushes out that expectation even from March to May, I think you could see some waves being made across all asset classes, because now, I mean, pick a market, and it's priced in that rate cuts are coming sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I saw, it's worth mentioning as well, some of the European markets back to those highs, the DAX, all-time highs in Germany today. So some of the markets, there's the, I went out to a monthly chart there just to confirm that, but we did get above that last all-time high for the DAX. So a lot to be discovered, I guess, still. And the first stop will be, as we said, the non-farm print coming up on Friday. And then right away, next week, we'll hear from the big guy once again. Frank Cabernas, Director of Strategy over at IG.com in Chicago. Appreciate it, as always.
Thanks, Brennan.
All about rates again. So I always look at this tool right here. I mean, Frank's giving you the goods, and then you could just like to sort of confirm or deny or whatever what's been happening right here. Here's December. We know that's absolutely no chance of anything, apparently, for December. And then January, we come out right now, and we get, again, same thing, possible cut in the January meeting. March, there we go. March, it's a likely cut happening as soon as March. So again, we'll wait to see what the Fed watch tool, if changes or not. And as Frank said, based on more news, more numbers being released starting ASAP, we'll see if those change at any point right now. Meanwhile, while we've been doing that, it's nice to see Frank obviously talked about crypto there, so that was good. Glad, thanks Breno for asking him that one. I had some people in the chat were wondering. But right there, all right, so we went down to 15. Obviously, that would have been a reload, not a reload spot, a spot to get more, but I was very, very uncertain of where we were going. So whenever that is the case, never a great idea to average in. But, that was a good bottom. I have enough shares right here to be happy with this at 07 or 08. Let's see if it gets going. And just something to bring to note, there is another bid right here. I don't know, it's going to have to break it, which shouldn't be a problem. And remember, the reason, this is part of the reason, not the sole reason. Obviously, we're down to $15. We've already lost on it once here, but that was a cup of coffee. Let's see if we can make a cup of coffee back. First out is going to be like 15s, like 15.15, I think. Yeah, and then we have something up at 25, and then hopefully we can get through the 50 period, or the 200 period, which is at 25, which is why we're there, and then a break through 50 gets us that level, and then we see VWAP. And I think there's a good chance of it going because we do have earnings coming up. And join me tonight when we'll talk about. There's one name that's reporting tomorrow. I don't know why it's off the top of my head here, tip of my tongue, but there's GameStop December 6th. Coming into play there. So I'm going to find out now I have to, Obi, go find out who's reporting tonight, but there is one key name right there. AMD, we've been just sort of back and forth here. It's finally starting to go. We have a hit in there once it broke through. We did talk about that, but let's go to see what happens here now up to the upside. Yeah, it feels like that, Boring Man. Death by 1,000 cuts on some of these trades, but for right now, it's all good, man. We got out some roadblocks again down on the bottom side. Everything we're in right now is working out. AMD's 15 cents in the money. Let's see if we get it going up. Right now, GME's flat. NIO, We got another 41 fill. It's just, oh man, nothing happening there. And Palantir's kind of sleepy time. And wow, that was a good call, Sean, that you don't have on Tesla at 238. Now 240 and change. I know there's some traders that have this, so that's an absolutely great take off that 50 period moving average down there.
Yeah, I just looked up what's kind of reporting today. Did you mean Asana or Dave & Buster's? Those are kind of big names there.
But if that's the biggest, then
Stitch Fix is also in there.
we had AutoZone earlier.
Oh, yeah, AutoZone was yesterday, I think.
No, it's already got it. It's MongoDB.
Okay.
So again, we talked a little bit about
that's the top
Datadog
one
and
right
some of
there.
those other names. So that would have been the one, but not super exciting.
Nice. I think we got Hampton's Trader is asking why long Uber. I'm thinking short. I think I got short there on the Uber. I'm thinking short as well. Kind of testing out that thesis here about that as well. But yeah, I think I can understand why you're thinking short as well. Kind of what it's been doing all day is kind of suggesting that we are a little toppy in this area. So as you can see, VWAP's a bit of a churn, and we've been kind of orbiting around VWAP, so I don't really want to keep that in there. But taking that off, you can clearly see there's a little bit of a support here, a little bit of a resistance. That resistance is a little bit of a continuation off of yesterday's price action, kind of coming back up and reclaiming this crazy move we had on Friday on Uber. So we kind of failed to follow through on those highs in the after hours coming in on Monday. You don't really get too far, and then you break all the way back down. Now you're consolidating sideways underneath. So yeah, just looking for the range trade just back in to potentially some of this support here. But yeah, you got to give it some room, as yeah, it seems like selling is kind of in this area. But we have technically been making lower highs roughly into this flat bottom here at that 58, roughly, give or take a few pennies of support right there. So yeah, I guess that's the idea there. And yeah, I think the stop is going to be again at a previous high there, kind of waiting for sellers to kind of come in to get a little bit more aggressive on Uber there. But okay, so yeah, let me know why you were thinking short in the chat there, Hampton's Trader. So yeah, I'll read that out. So okay, so he said you went long. Yeah. No, I'm curious to know what your reasoning for the short is as well, in and around that area, give or take a few pennies. As you can see, it's coming right back up into these prices, but we're making technically lower highs on the day. So you just got to give it to one of those highs there to give it the real risk it deserves.
I just want to shout out to ADR. I'm just going to tweet something out about the Bitcoin market cap. It's actually a fantastic thing we have here that I'm going. Actually, I'll just I'm going to tweet it out in a second. How do I? All right, hold on a second here. I'm composing a tweet, but this is kind of what I wanted to get at here as we go. How do I F11? There we go. That doesn't do anything really. Okay, so it's just, this is the different asset classes in trillions, the market cap. You can't even see Bitcoin here. So you have gold right there, 12.2 trillion. Obviously equities is monstrous, real estate, and then debt. Wow, I mean, I don't know if this is, I don't know what kind of, if it's total debt worldwide or what, all the countries teamed up there, but Bitcoin still very, very small percentage of what we're talking about, and maybe it stays that way, but that is just after such a big, huge move that we've had, and you still don't even, it's still, like, as far as an equity, like we talked about that, holding some Bitcoin in your portfolio, well, I mean, this is what it looks like right now. All right, I'll get away from this F11 again, or escape or something. All right, quickly here. We did average some in. I mean, how many times am I going to see this go down there? So we actually got, let me just zoom back in here. Look at that. So, okay, awesome fill, but it's not, doesn't mean we're going to get out because it's not going up. So we're going to have to wait to see if that does anything right now, but we do have that GME fill there. AMD kind of bouncing around. It's a good thing we took some out at the 50 period moving average. We talk about that all the time, but hopefully that goes back up. Roblox, we're out. Well, we still have about 25% of this Roblox. So let's maybe punch something out or whatever here if it continues to go. Okay, there goes GameStop. We did get some 10s out right now. Let me go back over to GameStop as we just punched some 56s there in Roblox. So it just spiked through 10, but then came right back. So you do see some 10 prints. There's some more. Let's see if it goes back up. Get out a little bit there. So what did I get out, you might be asking? I got out of about 15% there. We're only long at 06. So just because it's right at this level, let's see if it goes, man. We're waiting at 15. We want this to moon. So I'm now out of a little piece. I have 10% more at 15, then 10 at the 200 period. Then we'll hold for a much bigger move. Carvana, oh wow, wasn't this 40 something yesterday? Down, yeah, okay, down 5%. So it's actually $40 today. Look at that top there for CVNA. That's looking pretty good. We are under, though, the 50-period moving average here, so we don't want to look long. We only want to look short. It's Carvana. It's downside. Looks like a decent out there for GameStop as it's pulling back a little bit. Nio still trying to work. We are at a low now for Nio. Finally breaks through 40. Let's see if we get lower. This is another name that we've put on, and we sort of like it. I think we do anyways. Let's see what happens here with NIO and back in again. So we'll see if that has any sort of an effect on this, but it's Nio, and hopefully it goes a little bit lower than where we are right now. Palantir still doing nothing. What else you guys want to look at? Let's look at Tesla quickly because it's a mover, right? So we might as well have a quick look at that one. All right, so it's actually, some of you in the chat were like, that was a good long, but you should almost be getting out. I mean, if you're going to use my advice to get long there at 37, 38, I feel like this advice is pretty good right now. Again, look at this rate there. I don't know what level is this, 40s? Yeah, so 240 exactly. You're right here right now. If you haven't taken anything out, maybe now on Tesla, a level, the only thing we bumped up to was we got as high as 240, 35. To me, I think it's worth sacrificing 50 cents to the high side. If you're lucky enough to get the 200 period moving average up here, if it gets up there, great. But then you're just playing in this window, and right now you're at the bottom of it. So take something out there, then let the rest ride if you are long Tesla. To me, that makes a little bit of sense on that play, and hopefully it will make dollars for you. AMD pulls back a little bit. I'm not worried about it. I'm more worried about GameStop. I'd really like to see that one continue to go to the upside. So it's GME right now that I'm sort of got my eyes set on. I think we can break. All we got to do is get above this 15 area. If we do that, then we do test this. Then we get into here. So I like GameStop. I mean, look at it right here. It's also bouncing off the 200 period right now. This is a long for me. If we're wrong, we're wrong. And if you really want to hold it, I don't have the appropriate shares to hold all the way down here, but 1435, that's not a trade for me to hold. But if you did think about a YOLO trade down into here, 1450, I think is another reload spot for the long. So yeah, we're in way too many shares right now. We're in AMD, we're in GameStop, we're in Nio, but we're getting lighter on Nio. We're in Palantir, which we're already light on, and then Roblox, we're thinking about doing something with. So far so good. People want to talk about VWAP and all that. You're welcome, Piper, and everything like that. I mean, I'm here to teach you where some of my outs would be, and then you can trade around those levels. So Shopify, we brought that one up, and it's really starting to go, isn't it, Obi?
Yeah, I pulled this one up just now because I was looking at some of the percent gainers, some of the volume leaders, and I saw Shop is up above 3.5%. So I pulled it up, and I was like, oh wow, we did cover this in the morning, and we did break. Take a look at this break of that pre-market high, that initial reaction break as well, holding above that 70 to 72 twos and continuing to push to the upside here. So I did notice as well, we have that expanding volume going into that 75, and then the highest volume bar on the day happens to be through that 75 break on Shopify. So I'm just watching the tape real close here to see if we're going to sustain over this 75. Maybe we have a trade on our hands where we can buy higher and sell even higher there on a potential continuation if we're going to push that much volume through that 75 level. And as I say that, we kind of continue to kind of melt up on the day. This expanding volume going into that that level is quite peculiar. So before I really execute any sort of trade on this, now again, we are in sim mode, don't forget, but yeah, trying to take some reps. So in order to take good reps, you got to do some charting, make sure you're getting involved at the right level. So let's just take a quick look left and see what's happening in the past over here at that 75. Now, as I slowly kind of continue to look back, it seems as if we might be hitting some highs that we haven't touched in quite a while here on Shopify. So this is the hourly. I got to go even further back to see some of these prices here, and it would seem as if, okay, all the way in 2022, March 2022 is when we kind of had these tops in and around these prices. So right away, you can see there's a little bit of a support resistance-ish level here, right underneath the 80, in and around the 80, and then this consolidation zone exactly around where we're at right now, trading around 75. So this is kind of that consolidation. Again, bigger picture, this ticker was quite extended in the run-up through COVID, and we have been experiencing quite a pullback. Now, I think I've spoken about this before, kind of a swing idea where a lot of these tickers that did have a lot of hype. Now they're decent companies, right? They have a clientele, they make money, they provide value to others, but sold off, kind of does some splits and really beaten down here in the 30s, can't really go anywhere, selling off bad news, and then eventually it can't get any lower. You see that failure to follow through the few times that it does break through that 30 and then immediate reclaim, and it just sits there for almost a whole year, and then start of 2023 is when we really start to see that bid back up, and now finally we are retesting some of these levels. Take a look at this high volume right here, in and around. Okay, wow, I wasn't even aware of this. This shelf right here doing a lot of high volume, and then when you look, we did hold above that before kind of gapping up and pushing these highs from before. So 75 next stop seems like it's 80, and it has some room to continue if we're gonna kind of follow this overall trend on the multi-month time frame here on Shopify. But how does that help us on the intraday? Let's take a quick look at those levels. So 75, 76 seems to be a potential resistance area, and you're getting that expanding volume going into those levels. So I don't necessarily want to look short right away. Maybe, again, like I said, maybe potential to get long and sell a little bit higher for that 76 test if we're going to continue to kind of melt up like this on Shopify there. But yeah, just nothing really else that I'm looking at. Cassie Kent saying Tesla, Roblox, and Unity. Okay, so we can take, I mean, Sean's already spoken on Tesla and Roblox, but Unity's a name that we haven't necessarily covered today. So let's take a quick look at Unity and see what Classy Kent has been trading today there. So I already have a line there, kind of, I guess this is a level from before, clearly a level yesterday, as well as it held this level as resistance, and today we are coming right back down. So yeah, pushing red on the week, a little bit opposite to the rest of the market here as the market rages up. Unity to the downside here, printing about, I guess, I didn't see how much down it is on the day, or how far down it is on the day, but let's take a quick check over here, and yeah, okay, so we're down about 4% on the day, but take a look at this. We did a little bit of a test of these highs, this gap high, or low, if you want to call it, these gap levels from earlier, a bit of a support turn resistance as well, and we're getting a little bit of a pullback on Unity off of those levels. Again, yesterday being a little bit significant, where you kind of do some sideways and use that resistance use that level as a resistance, and you're getting that continuation pullback back down, about a 50% retracement of this move that happened on Friday. But yeah, Unity looking a little weak underneath this level here today. So yeah, good. Well, I hope you were short, because it seems like shorts are definitely winning on this name there. Any news on Shop? Yeah, I don't know why Shop is running there, Sean, but I think there was some sort of catalyst in the morning, and I'm forgetting we did cover something here. So let me just pull it right back up. Actually, no, it wasn't. I guess it wasn't on the list there. So, yeah, no, I am not too aware of what news they had today. But with whatever information I have here, it says that Morgan Stanley just raised their price to 74 from 62. So we got that push. A little bit of a bid. Again, market tailwind as well. You can see that a lot of these other names are moving just in step to this. Shopify might be experiencing a little bit of an extended move, stronger bid catching on here on Shopify. So good look.
Yeah, good cover there, Obi. I just so we got out more as Roblox was hovering around this 50-period moving average and starting to break. We're out another piece, and then we're almost out right now. A break above this 200, which is $70 or 70 cents. Sorry, we are out. So, you know where my stop was? I just canceled it. Was 82. So this Roblox, or yeah, 82 it actually was. So this Roblox short there, 77, we were just gonna get out for like 5 cents. So the fact that we wound up making 50 cents on it was pretty good. And again, that's why you see a lot of these outs that are pretty early, because that's kind of what we were trying to do. And that's the one thing that I have to work on, is trying to take more shares earlier and then waiting for a much bigger move and then just trying to cash them all out at the bottom. But hey, whenever you're short there and the market does this, it's a pretty good trade. All right, talk about one good trade. There's another one here. AMD finally goes upside and basically comes right into the high of the day again. I mean, it didn't take out 50s, but it took out 40s or came close enough to it. So we took a 30 fill there on AMD as we start to get lighter and lighter and lighter on that. As we go, we already talked about Roblox. So here's a new trade idea. Honestly, it's going to be Palantir. I think we can break this right here. This is the 50-period moving average. I think this 1840, if we break that to the long side, then I think it could be off to the races. We just get stopped out on something there. What just printed? Roblox. Okay, good. Ooh. I was like, don't tell me that GameStop just tanked or something and I missed it, because I'm still in GameStop. GameStop might break 15, but all right. The reason why we spin that is I'm just going to end the trade for you. It's Roblox. So my number one stock is Affirm. My number two stock is Roblox. So, you know, again, like I said, if you're going to take about a 5 to 10 cent hit on shares, you should take a lot. So right there, that is my second best name, and we just put it on right now and then back in. So if you're a scalper like me, you'll appreciate a move like that. So that was a good one. But this is the order. That's the name that's in question right now. I'm going to take us some coffee and sit down and just hope that this can go back up. Feel a little bit like that roaring kitty. You just sit here and you wait for something to happen. I don't know. I need that bandana to go on here right now. But there's nothing I could do to tell you. I'm not going to sit here and tell you GameStop's undervalued or anything like that. I don't know if there's some deep something value involved in this name right now. There may just be. No, I have no idea. So we're going to wait on this. The reason why we're in this, of course, is because $15. So I like. The other part about it is, of course, we do have the big name reporting tomorrow, December 6th, with a 23% short float. And we've seen names like Affirm. You just talked, or was it Upstart or whatever name? Shopify. That has an okay short float. Pretty decent one. I think it's 8-9%. But Upstart with a short float. And we've seen some of these names come out with a report that's not even that great, but the market rallies upside because of short float and because the names have been so beat down. So, I mean, look at GameStop on a daily chart here. Like, you want to talk about something that's gotten beat down. I mean, down into $12. Yeah, we have the reverse split and all that. Down into $12 there, breaking through the 50 period, which is 14. And now we've come all the way back down into earnings. I actually, I'm not afraid to say could be some EFV on this, because if you want to buy something around this $14, you got a 50-period moving average with an opportunity for this to bump. I don't mind this trade on GameStop, but again, I'm not here for the ride. I'm here to get out if it breaks through 15. But with earnings coming out, I know there's a lot of you that take earnings plays. I can't say I hate this one. It's GameStop and it's Brendan Wickens.
Your daily possible buyout rumor. This one, ALE in New York. Big pop here, guys, from 56 up to 61. Bit of a pullback, but ALE, this is a utility stock on a buyout rumor.
The utility stocks
Similar story as yesterday. We saw what happened with that FIVN. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
No,
off.
you crushed the F. I was going to say, actually, Opie, this may be your
shout
specialty.
out to Brendo calling out these crazy movers. Yesterday I was looking at that FIVN trade that we had in the evening, and I was like, oh boy, just missed opportunity on the account, but a clean trade there, and it seems like this ALE is up to the same thing here happening. So you know what? I'm gonna pull it up here.
You want to do it?
Well, I gotta check. It could be different, right?
Is he gonna do it?
I have no idea, but yeah, you know what? It's like trades on the NY. Trades on the NY. I'm like I'm going through like 2 different exchanges here. Why is it not showing up?
ALE.
Oh, ALE. Okay.
AL.
I might already be too late. I have to work much faster than that.
Yes, you do.
Oh boy.
Here,
What's happening now?
you call it up. Come over to me first quickly here. All right, GameStop's going to break 15. My order's already set up, so here we go. A break lower, and we are flat. Like I have this set at 14.98. So here's a little tip for those of you that are maybe trading on our platform or another one. I have not seen Hood. I will look at Robinhood. I believe it was 1025 break or something, Matt. We'll have a quick look if it's broken through there. Okay, so I just wanted to say that. All right, what I was getting at was 14.98, right? So my stop is below this, but not by much. The reason why, sometimes you can get a break of 15, but it's because traders are crossing to get out, and sometimes it's not supposed to happen. Shout out to the SEC and all that kind of stuff. They should possibly investigate random things like this, although as if they care. I mean, stocks get reverse split. They go up 5,000%, and then 2 weeks later, they're right back down. You think they would care about that. But right here, if this breaks 15, it's not supposed to print a 99 if there still is an active 15 bid. Sometimes we've seen that happen where the market will cross down and somehow there's a print at 99 or 98. And whether or not, again, you don't have to call the SEC on this, but whether or not that's a little bit of a Fugazi print or something, I'm not sure. But I'm waiting for 98s. So a break of O's, someone will slam 99s and then 98. So for me, it's happened too many times where I have a 99 stop, it gets triggered, then it just blasts right back up. So this could still get triggered at 98. I'm just giving myself 1 cent more of a protection. So even if you have 1,000 shares of it, it's like 10 more bucks. It's not the end of the world on a trade like this. So that's what I'm doing. But unfortunately, GameStop is at the low of the day. It's 325 right now. I could see this one making a move lower. And I'm not going to short it into $15, but I can't blame anybody. And if you do go short at 15, oh, thank God you didn't fall there, Adara. Yeah, I thought she almost tripped there. Thank God she didn't on our stairs there. But okay, if you are going to punch that short, I think you got to give it to that same room that I'm doing up here, 1520, the 200 period moving average. Look at this thing. It's really giving it love all the way down, including that short right there. So I think that's it. So the other name that I was looking at, as we have a nice bounce, so hopefully we got a nice bounce. So it's MongoDB is a big one. We have Stitch Fix is another one that I was thinking about putting on the board. But really, it's Toll Brothers. XHB, was it you yesterday that said the home builders were at the highs? Yeah, so that alerted me.
Did they hit today?
I don't know, but you were pretty accurate with that yesterday.
Yeah, I don't think
Toll Brothers, on the ETF. So look at Toll Brothers starting to go upside here as they report later on tonight. So this is going to be a good one. We know Uncle Warren or Grandpa Warren or whoever's in this name with Berkshire. Actually, I don't know if it's Toll Brothers. I'll have to look up the names, but we know that he was buying housing stocks here throughout the summer. So there was a little bit of a swell down into, what a surprise, the level that I'm loving on ETFs, guys. I am absolutely loving on ETFs. If you like the rhetoric behind the ETF, so whether or not it's utilities, we talk about ALE, whether or not it's real estate, whether or not it's XRT with retail, you get that bounce off the 200 period moving average. I like that as a support or resistance area. So Toll Brothers, an interesting name for us tonight. All right, did you get ALE all sorted out there? What do you think about that?
So I did pull it up there. I don't know why. When I was holding shift, it wasn't registering the letters there,
good.
so I was tripping out. But yeah, a little bit distinctly different from the action from yesterday. That's what I wanted to kind of check. I did pull up kind of its stats as well. ATR is about 1.24, and it's done about 56 to 60. So it definitely hit a few multiples of its ATR there. Shares float about 57 million. That's pretty decent there as well. Short float, short interest, nothing really, about a 1.74. But a little bit more distinctly, the move here is a little bit more sustained, I think. Right? I'll pull up the FIVN chart soon, but you'll be able to see that this price action. You can see that it's actually bidding up higher, consolidating, flushes down, catches onto this bid from before, and starts to consolidate again. So yeah, you could potentially, I think you can potentially get involved at the 60. Kind of, you'd have to risk all the way up here, kind of above the highs there to take the pullback down into 58. And just looking at where VWAP is as well, kind of we are hovering above VWAP. So compare that to the FIVN from yesterday. I just want to pull that up. We were talking about this earlier today as well. A crazy move happens intraday at around 11 o'clock. Take a look at this, that wildness right here kind of coming in. But yeah, look at this right here, very distinctly different. These are both 1 minute charts, right? This is an ALE, a little bit more sideways, a little bit more consolidation, whereas this one, it's a lot less consolidation. It's straight to the upside, and when the pressure does kind of fail, it comes right back in to VWAP. So a little bit distinctly different. There's I think there's a few nuances there that kind of prevent me from really being like getting as aggressive as the FIVN push there. But yeah, this is a decent move nonetheless. But I don't necessarily want to touch this one in the same way as we traded FIVN yesterday as well. But yeah, decent look there. I'm going to continue watching this one. It is still interesting. But yeah, something funny was that FIVN had that continuation later on today, where it basically recovered that whole move from yesterday. You got that crazy move on some sort of intraday catalyst, and then you come in, you look like you're holding about at 50%, and all of a sudden that 87.5 just dumps right into 80, giving you about 7 points in 3 or 4 minutes. So that's absolutely wild move. You can see the volume to you can see the volume expand into that move. So definitely a lot of sellers into that flush there, and then just basing on top of that 80. So yeah, going forward, let's see what ALE does. ALE kind of looking a little bit similar there, but I'm not really too sold on the price action being very similar to yesterday's chart. So we'll give it some more time. We'll continue to observe. I don't think it's the same setup as yesterday.
All right, Brendan just gave us the what's up to Aaron and Joanna Brewster. Shout out, thank you so much for joining us. It is, Scarjo Rabbit just put it in the chat there, it is 197 million to sell. So it's not a huge number, but I believe yesterday it was 500 or so to buy, and then it came out 2.5 billion, so about 5x. So if we get anything near that today, then you'll be about $1 billion. So that'll be nice if that can come through for sure. All right, so what's on the imbalance locator here is, I just want to say we just got another piece out here of AMD in and around 22, 23 right there, as it's just kind of made that little bit, again, bounced off, popped back up. I'm just trying, you already know I got stopped out there, and then we reloaded it. That was live right before we went to Frank, and then some nice upside moves happened. So that's AMD, but here we go to the Brewster family. Let's have a quick look to see what's on here. So again, this is without NASDAQ. You can get rid this bets thing. So some of these NASDAQs that you're going to see here are either leftover or didn't get cleared out from the 9:30 market on open. But so they're going to be in here. You know what? Here, let's actually. I can only look at broker. Maybe we could do that. But anyways, HPE, not much. Hewlett Packard Enterprises. Like there's Palantir with a bid, relatively small. Kenvue as well. Is this Kenvue? I don't think so. KVUE. I don't think that's Kenvue, is it?
Oh yeah, that is.
Oh, it is Kenvue.
Yeah.
Man, what the hell happened to Kenview's price?
Yeah, I'm curious. That IPO was pretty solid.
Yeah,
Like the first couple of days.
Yeah, this is what
Yeah.
it looks like now, my guy.
I think we talked about it, right? Like a lot of these IPOs have only just
not a
sold
lot
off.
of them, pretty much.
Well, maybe not ARM as much, but
No. It's literally like 98% of them are
Yeah.
below. I had that stat the other day.
Yeah.
How many are below their IPO price? It's like 90 something. You just hit one there. There's actually two. Do you know the other one?
there was
ARM is doing well.
Burke was the other one.
Is it though? I'm not sure it is.
I have no idea
Could
what
be.
it's been up to.
The other one is very similar. Oh yes, Birkenstock.
Birkenstock actually up.
Good for you, man.
bit there.
Birkenstock today. Wow, Obi hit that one. You nailed that one, dude. We haven't talked about this in forever. Ever, yeah. Okay. But
Nice.
yeah, wow, Birkenstock. I remember this one. I should have just my family owns many of these. The average American, I believe it was, or it might just be Birkenstock wearer has 3 to 4 pairs on average. So that's,
Understand.
it's like
Pretty low
Uggs,
fan
man.
base.
I hate these damn companies. Like my wife has the Ugg minis. And then, she has the Ultra minis, which and then she goes to me, oh, I want the minis. And I go, don't you already have those? She goes, no, I have the Ultra minis.
Oh.
So it's like an inch different on the ankle. Okay. And then she just got something called Drizzlitas or something like that. They're the rain boots.
Okay.
So she got those, and I mean, my daughter can have whatever she wants, so can my wife. But they got matching pairs of those as well. So it's like when mom buys something, then daughter has to get it. So they each have about 2 or 3 pairs of Uggs. Like, oh, you got Ugg slippers. Okay, well, Ugg slippers. So we own those as well, and they own Birkenstocks. Like, I didn't think Birkenstock came in like nice little fluffy tops and all that. They do that, man. They come in every damn thing and style, Birkenstock. So shout out to that. The other one that I was going to get at, Neil and I talk about this not often, but it's Mobileye. That was another one that was up, but that was more of a spin-off from Intel. So this is kind of questionable. It's not like a true IPO. And actually, it may be down now. I think it was 35 or 36. It might have been 28. Yeah, okay. So, all right. Svenit? Okay, so there we go. So Mobileye comes out in 2022. Actually, they came out right at the right time, man. I mean, that was pretty much the bottom of the market for Mobileye. Like, if they came out any earlier, probably would have been somewhere up here because this was the bottom of the market, so everything was priced right. Nice move upside, so Mobileye is still one of those working names as well. Okay, AMD still upside. Anything else? Okay, we're getting a little bit testy. Do we just get out of something? Nio. We got more Nio short. Okay, we'll talk about that in a minute. GameStop still down here. All right, so Nio just popped. I'm like, did we get stopped out? No, we did not. We got more short there on Nio. So, okay. So Nio popping up. I'm still going to use 750. Great that this level's there for us, 751, 752. Let's be exact about it and use 752. So if we break higher than that, then we're going to get out. We're short right now at 46. It's a reloaded position. It's NIO, and it's a new short. So we're into that one right now. Tesla. Does anybody remember the outs that we were talking about? Right into here. Hopefully some of you took that.
Oh, reclaim
240. That's still here, man. It was just dancing around 240, but a reclaim of that, maybe.
Yeah.
I'd like to see them take that level out of 240.35. But just, and again, we'll just go. We'll go bang, because that was, again, I know there's some people in the chat that were saying thank you so much for talking about where my outs would be if I was in, and it was right there, and I think that's 240 flat. So hopefully some of you did that, saved yourself a little bit of money. I'm just waiting for GameStop to break. AMD upside. Roblox, we are out of that trade. Probably a bad decision, but still just in here. I could re-short it against that high. That's not a horrible play. Alibaba, damn you. We talked about, oops, I got to zoom in the other way. We talked about that break right there. Looks like it could have been something. It went up a little bit into the 70s, but still hovering around. I don't love that trade. Palantir, we were waiting for 40s to break. That didn't happen. Like, look at this market, man. I apologize for not putting on any bangers here because I just don't see any. This is a good one, though. Like, I like this trade, man. Intel right here, 42.10. We could get that. That's good. The reason why I'm not slamming this short right now underneath 42 is because do we even have 10 cents worth of move back into VWAP right now? I mean, it would be nice for me to say I think this market's going to crash, but I don't have any reason for it to do that. If you're going to look at a larger time frame, maybe if we were at 15.7 and teetering in and around here, then I could say a break lower. We'd be hitting stocks downside. But look, we're right in the middle. Like, we're right in the middle. This top is 15.9, 16, right? There's 16 right there, and there's 15.850, which we're at, which is VWAP. So I'm not, like, we're just hovering right now. I don't think there's too much in this market. We'll look to see the close. We do have Brian Shannon coming on. Shout out to Fabian, the man, the myth, the legend over there, for a real cool. Actually, I've closed it now, so that's funny. But I was going to look at the cool thumbnail today, so I think that's really nice. Let's look at this. Remember the day that I was here pounding and we dressed up as a Bitcoin?
Yes.
You know, there it is right there. So it's the market recap show. Join me, and here he is right there, Brian Shannon. He's been long Ethereum. He messaged me. So we will be talking, that's probably him right here. We've been talking about Ethereum and Bitcoin a little bit today. So wow, already 6,000. Wow, thanks, 6,000 views. That's great. Hit the like button, but let's go and promote this a little bit. Tonight's closing recap show. Traders stay late, and I know you do, Obi, as well. You're pretty much the only one here when I am doing the show. So thank you for that. Maybe one day I can have you as a guest on the show.
Sure, yeah.
Sure, okay, good.
Yeah, I'm down.
One day we'll do that here. But he is Brian, and he is really smart. So join him tonight on the show.
Yeah. So I was just reading the chat here. I think was it Mauricio talking about shop short? Yeah, that 75 came in a little bit of a. Again, we were watching this action. I was talking about how this is quite strong into that 75, 76 area, and as I was observing it, kind of selling, the tape kind of changed, right? Clearly, the tape on this trend up is going to look a little bit different on multiple red bars down versus multiple green bars up, right? So you kind of see that change in the relative change in that order flow in and around a significant kind of level, which we identified together there just by looking left, just above that 75, 76. And yeah, you know what? Sellers come in, you get a little lucky, you get a follow through on the move, and you break the trend. So yeah, that was a decent decision there. Again, Uber working out as well, kind of a similar idea there. We made lower highs. We couldn't really break past these morning highs. So when you come in and you start to struggle, again, this is a very choppy range, but you can, in terms of how far ranges go, pretty clean here. You can see that there's some resistance up here in the 58 halves, and then some support here at the 57 nines as well on Uber. So yeah, that's working out well here. Let's see how far we can get, or how close we can get back down into the 58 here. Only about 20 minutes left in the trading day. Same thing with Shopify, right? People have only been, well, with how the chart is looking, it seems like this is majority saturated with longs, as the price has only gone up all day, and going into the end of the day, maybe there could be some profit taking as well, which could give us a little bit of a tailwind, along with what the stuff that we've seen happen in and around that 75, giving us that confluence for a proper move back down, maybe into some supports from earlier, maybe into just the whole dollar at the 74 as well. So I'll be closely watching that. Again, 20 minutes left. I think somebody in the chat was talking about ARM breakout of 64.90, and I did pull it up here. I do have some levels charted from earlier, but I was like, okay, well, we're pretty close to that 64.90, so let me pull it up and check. And yeah, I can see right away why you might be interested in that break there. We have been consolidating above that 61, 60-ish level here, kind of stepping up on ARM. Very, very distinct consolidation here. You can see kind of runs up, sells back into the support, runs up to resistance, sells back into support, and today we're getting more of the same as we've run up into resistance here. But that 64.90, if this resistance does break to the upside, I think that could definitely be a juicy trade. And the same thing with the break of these range lows here into 61 on this chart here. So very clean, kind of defined range happening on ARM. I like the idea of that 64.90, but we're nowhere close. Every time we've kind of come up into this 64, we've only sold back off down to 61 on this multi-day range that's been happening here. There goes Shopify a little bit more selling into 74 halves, and Uber as well, kind of looking a little weak here. Let's see what the market is up to. Market pulling back off of that 15.9 here as well. So that 15.9, Sean was definitely right on that. Sideways, we haven't gone anywhere really from this morning session. Yeah, that morning session, strong volume, but after we settled down, we barely get anywhere. Only about a 60-point range there. The lows being 15.840 and that 15.9 acting as some resistance, a lower high relative to these highs up here at the attempt at 16 that we got in the morning. But again, kind of something to note is a lot of things went red to green today on the weekly. So I think that's something to consider as well, whether or not we're going to be continuing to go green and push some of those levels there. We did talk about some of those weekly candles there on I think it was I think it might have been on Apple, but we can take a look at NQ here real quick. And yeah, take a look at this weekly here so you can see how we did go a little bit. So we did kind of start off a little bit green there, didn't hold it for too long, and then that 16 thou reject is printing us a little bit of a red week. But the fact of the matter is, if we do break this price up here, the week goes red to green on the NQ, and I think Apple has already done that, right? So right here, Apple was kind of ridiculously strong off the open. Again, kind of maybe some continuation of this break here happening, engulfs pretty much 2 weeks of price range. Same thing with Amazon here, looking very similar on the weekly. You're pretty much engulfing some of these previous weeks' price action. So very strong buyers on the tape, kind of potentially buying up the dip that we got yesterday.
Great trade, OB, on Shopify there. Not much else to say. Good job on that one. We did, 1 second, I'll get to that. We did flip over short on GameStop. The problem is we had to chase it all the way down because it went SSR, right? So it's down now 12%, so you had to take it off the ask. So unfortunately, we only got 93s. It didn't bump up. It's trying to bump right now. You have a little bit of size there. Remember, we lost 5 cents. So we took 5 cents on 30%, hoping for more on a little bit of a downside move. Let's go handle some business.
Brought to you by IG.com. Trade Forex pairs like Euro USD with spreads as low as 0.8 pips and zero commissions at IG. Terms and conditions apply.
Dare GameStop. Yeah, go find IG out and see what Frank is up to. Right there, scan that QR code. Come on, GameStop, come on. All right, so let's see. I'm going to try to give it to that 15-10 area. The same area I was trying to give it to on the long. You know, that's the best out that we've had. The 200 period's right there. You could give it to the 200 period, but I think if it blasts through 15, it probably gets going again. So here we go, man. We just reshorted it. I could lose twice on this. That would suck. But again, we're not trying to set the world on fire here. Like I like the discussion of the long better than the short. So let's see. But we're short now. We're short at 94 right here. Someone said, like, how in the heck did we know that GitLab was going to make this move? Well, I just said that on earnings, when you had a name that just like this broke through this top right there, once that happens, and we've already seen some top ticks right into here. I just, it wasn't going to 70 today. I didn't think so anyways, up 14 or 15%. So basically it just ran into some other problems there. So I thought that just like CRM, when they had their report up 14 or 15%, it broke through the top as well like that. Then I just feel that, the 12 or 13% short in GitLab took that profit there early and ran it back down. And then all of a sudden, when those sellers were done, you get some upsized candles there on exercising of the sale. The open was a big sell candle, and then we had one flush down there, down to 56, which created, again, when there wasn't too much more downside, it went down to 55.30. Then you had an exhaustion move back up where the buyers were like, oh, okay, the sellers are done now. We like the quarter. And right now you're just kind of hovering around. So let's wait for tomorrow on GitLab. I don't know if it will flush back down below, but I would prefer the long to the short. It's a good name. It was a great report, but pretty tough to trade here today for sure, unless you had the bias that we did early that this was going to fall down. I don't have any executions on it. And then to be able to catch that 55 would have been tough. But it came right back into that. Basically, that's 55. That's 54. Let's call it 50, 54 and change. That bottom is 55. So you could have bought that, give it $1 to make back 5. But who knew that was going to happen, right? Not this guy. So anyways, that's a nice move right there on that. I didn't realize this either. Nio actually on that reload went right back into the 50 period, and it would have only been, again, another 4 cents, but could have been taken. We now bidding that. Look out for a take higher on Nio as we get into the imbalances, which are happening right now. So market on close trades going to happen. It's 350 is when they all come public. So right now we're looking for, again, these are all garbage names, like 80 cents. HPE never really moves. TRP is a utility again, so we're not worried about that. After that, not much. Procter down there as a sell. I don't know what that's been doing today, flat on the day. We talked about Kenvue. There's Palantir was 500 when we looked at it before, still the same. Which I'm going to cancel my Palantir trade. We were going to take it if it broke through 1840 right there, but that didn't happen today. So in just a matter of minutes, you're going to get this all updated, and then we'll see what's happening. It was 197 to sell. Nice move up in the market. I think we take this AMD, guys. What if it comes bigger as a sell? Let's just take it. We're offer. Okay, well, we just put an offer and we get filled right away. So let's go, man. That's for. Oh, market is green. I was going to do this. That's a good trade there for AMD. Let's take it out. We're long at 118 down there, even below 118. We'll take the 40 cents. Pretty clean trade back up to the upside. GameStop is. Come on, man. Looks like that, the breakdown was, was fine until it's not. We have that stop. I hope we do still. Yeah, breaking through 1510. So if that happens, that happens. All right, with only a couple seconds, I'll feel bad about it because we were wanting to go long that name. If GameStop comes out a bit, I'm going to be really mad. But let's see what happens right now. 2 and 1, we're now out. So GameStop not moving at all. Market not moving at all, and I don't see much happening. You see all the updates are here from 3:30, so TLT, forget about it. That's the treasury. Palantir does turn out a buy. Okay, well, there it is, man. So right on point there. It was 200 to sell. Brendan just came, it's 2 billion to sell right now. I don't see that. Maybe NASDAQ names are going to update here even more, but I don't see any kind of a sell side here in the market. I don't see a sell in any names. So I question that 2 billion number. No, I don't question the number, just the effect it's having on this market is nothing. I don't even know if that number's, it's right, Brendan gave it to us, but I don't see anything on here to tell us that that number is accurate as far as a big sell. So add all up, there's probably something there, but I don't see anything. I feel like we're missing NASDAQ names, but I don't know. What could be a problem, but we do have TLT there. So there's Cisco with a bid,
I'm trying to look for Shopify on that list. It's definitely not up there. It's probably not that big then.
No, I don't see. Yeah. There's Alibaba with a small sell.
Yeah.
Oh, Alibaba sell triggered, so
okay.
That's nice.
Nice.
Yeah, not much on there. My only problem right now is GameStop, and I say problem, but it's because it's going, okay. That sucks, man. So we will be red on GameStop after all here. It looks like it will take that out, and 1510 is our out on GameStop. That's kind of sucky. But that is what it is. Let's get that. Yeah, what's up with that? Cat's not feeling well. But let's get those likes up there right now. I don't know what we're at. Let me just have a quick little look here. There she is. Hey, what's up, Cat? Right there. Like and subscribe today. All right. I'm not joined yet? What? I'm subscribed. Okay, good. 500 likes. We got to get that number up a little bit. Let's see if we can get to 1,000 before the market recap show hits. That's going to be with me and Brian Shannon today. We'll talk everything crypto. We'll talk GameStop. We'll talk lots of different names. As here we go. GameStop will stop me out in just a couple seconds. That sucks, but we took the shot on the short, breaking through 15. Just a little bit of back and forth. And look, that's what happens when you trade markets where they're not moving. GameStop really not doing anything, and here I am trading it. So again, down 11%, nice move. It just bounced off O's, F10s. Let's see if we get back to the downside. We're short 97 now on GameStop.
Yeah, I think that move here on Shopify again. I was looking for a potential sell imbalance to kind of bring this in a little bit more. We did sell off a little bit more on that, but still kind of waiting for that to come in. Uber, on the other hand, kind of coming right back in.
Do you have any French in your
background
or nothing? Because
no,
seems
not really.
not really. Okay.
I mean, I just took some classes in school, just the standard. That's about it.
Mandatory.
Yeah.
I like French, and I just think that if I had a language for my kids to choose, it definitely would not be French, because there's no point in it anymore. It's not a global language. It's not even really spoken. It's spoken in Canada, but
yeah, I mean it's valued very highly to be both English and French speaking here in Canada.
Is it?
Yeah, I mean in the career space.
Is it?
Is it?
No, are you gonna be a telemarketer?
I mean, I don't know.
No, I'm saying that seriously. Like, I would rather my kids speak, for example, Mandarin, or Cantonese, or Spanish.
There's value in that as well. Yeah.
Value, yeah. I mean, no. Look, I like French. I just don't speak it that much. We learn it in school.
Yes.
I'm just thinking like as a percentage of, and I just think about like when I was working with Day Trade the World. There's not that many places. Like, French is popular. There's some African nations that still speak French.
Right.
Here in Canada, maybe, I don't know what percentage of the population speaks French. It's not super high. But I just found that, like, if I had learned a little bit more Spanish, just with South America and things like that, because we have a lot of offices there, I think there could have been some value in that. But I mean, shout out to everybody that speaks French out there.
Yeah, no, I
Mbappe.
What? Isn't that a name of a soccer player or something, right? See, I got one. Yeah, I know that guy. And what was that other guy? He was famous for doing like headbutts or something.
Oh, Zinedine Zidane.
Zidane, yeah.
But he headbutted our guys there, so we don't talk about that guy.
Those are probably the only. Well, of course, you
headbutted a couple Italians right there in the chest.
Yeah, I remember that. That was pretty funny there. I was
Vive
like,
la France!
What a sport.
I say that in the chat there. There's Mbappe.
Okay, so we finally got that 58 kind of flush on Uber. That's what we were looking for the most part there. Kind of again, like I said, easy kind of well, not really easy. I don't want. Let me take that back. Straightforward kind of trade there, where the range is kind of defined. We talked about this multiple times. A little bit of resistance up here, 58 halves. A little bit of support here, 58s, and all it's done all day is literally kind of ping pong between these levels. So it makes no sense for us not to kind of exercise that idea over and over again until it stops doing it, at least, right? So that was the idea. Got a little lucky that it finally worked out one more time after doing it a bunch of times all throughout the day. So this range is definitely interesting going into the rest of the week here. Again, range breaks, range holds, everything like that can potentially stem off of this kind of price action here. So you know what? The fact that we are kind of here, I'm just gonna piece off of most, if not the rest of this. We only got about 5 minutes left, so probably want to get out of the rest of this right now. So yeah, I'm not really expecting it to go much further than the lower end of this range, as again, support has been quite strong all day right here. 57 9s, 58s, give or take a few pennies. It seems like that is an interesting area where buyers have been showing up over and over again on Uber. And I guess the last one we're in here is just the Shopify. Shopify not really breaking down as much anymore. So I think I'm just gonna start piecing off of this going into the close. Now again, just taking making the right decisions, just in for the reps right now, as we are headed quite into the close with only about 4.5 minutes left there. So let us know in the chat, what are some of the trades you guys had today? We
Well,
had
GameStop, just quickly, GameStop,
go
because
for it.
I got to go over to the desk in a couple of seconds.
Yes.
So GameStop broke below $15, so hallelujah. We'll just say awesome on that one. I mean, we're short at 97. We did take a bid at 15. We didn't think it was going to go there, but now that it's coming down, there's our 97 fill. We actually might wind up making money net today on GME as it's falling back in. I thought I had a 95 bid. Yes, I do. There we go. Get hit on 95 there. Thank you, Edgex. We'll wait to see what happens now as it's pulling back down in. So all is not lost about that. Someone in the chat said, how could you sell fur and pelts if you don't speak French? I think that's accurate. But then you can also not be prime minister.
Yeah.
So that is, you are right.
Yeah.
There are some jobs that you have to speak French for. Yeah. Prime minister and a judge are the two ones there. So that's, there definitely is some love there for French-speaking judges and prime ministers and things like that. Nice move to the downside right now as GameStop. I'm going to have to get out. I still think GameStop goes lower, but, I got to get out. So I'm going to go over there and start flipping it over to the trading now. NIO. I don't know. We got some out there. Oh, that's still GameStop. Sorry. Nice outs. We actually wound up making money there. Kind of feel a little silly about that because it did make a move down. And then NIO. There's some size following it down. I think this could be a print lower today, but we're going to get to some out. There's the reload. There's the out. It's NIO to go. So we'll sit on the bid there. Hopefully get out if it spits a little bit lower. End our trading in OB. It's been a blast, my guy. All right, we'll do that. Thank you for joining today. Best of luck in the next couple of days. I know I'll be seeing you tonight, tomorrow, and every day as you're pretty much, you probably have the best attendance of anybody.
Maybe.
I
Yeah.
don't know, my guy Josh is always here, I noticed that.
Yeah, he's been here quite early
in the background.
I've noticed,
Okay,
yeah.
I'm gonna step away. I'm gonna step away right now. And good day trading today, so we're happy with it. I still think GameStop goes lower. I'm gonna head over to the big desk. Thank you, Obi. Take him to the bridge, my guy.
Yes, sir. Again, thank you guys for spending your day with us. Again, I was reading some of the tickers you guys mentioned in the chat there. So yeah, a lot of opportunities, and a lot of people took those opportunities in the market today. That strong drive off the open, maybe some consolidation chops, maybe some fades. We saw some names that were kind of names like Unity were kind of totally opposite to the market. Market's up, Unity's down, or even Shopify. Shopify just raging to the upside there. So definitely some solid opportunities today that were capturable, and lots of lessons as well. Clearly, we kind of went over a few lessons in psychology and fear and greed, and some solid content indeed. But with only about 15 seconds left and Adara at the bell, I got to start this countdown timer. And today I get it right. So we only got about 10 seconds left. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We are closed. So I hope you guys had a fantastic trading day. Hope you guys got some value out of the show, maybe out of the market. Mother Market always teaching us some of the best lessons, for trading, for life, for a little bit of everything, in my opinion. But without any further ado, I think these guys are we ready at the desk over there? About 30 seconds. All right. So again, thank you everyone for being here. Thank you to everybody who runs the show. Fabian, Ramin, Kat, Brendo, Sharif, thank you Sean, thank you Adara, and Kat, we hope you feel better soon. And Neil is going to be back today. And without any further ado, I'm going to pass it over to the big desk with Sean for Market Recap. Take care, guys.
Yo, what's everybody? Thank you. And whenever Ramin talks, as soon as we go online, I think I'm automatically not online, but we are. All right, welcome everybody. I'm just logging into my system over here. Thank you for joining us as we get ready for an exciting earnings report. I think it's going to be pretty good. Toll Brothers, I'm looking forward to that. This chair is nice and high up here. It might be a little bit off-centered, but that's okay. We also have Brian Shannon coming through. Thank you so much for staying late with us. Is it that late? It's 4 o'clock. It is the close of the markets. We'll hit some bang Nope, Stream Deck not up. Got to load that up as well. All right, so good day today overall. The market was a little bit tricky there at the end, I felt like, with some movement up and down, and then the Qs eventually at the end of the day wind up green. Funny little look. There it goes. Now we hit the bang. There it is. Funny little look today because we don't have too many green names here as we look through our ETF board and we look at the sector recap. Like we have TLT, that's not really a sector there, that's the Treasury. We like to look at that, the 20-year Treasury. So it's a nice little move to the upside, so that's pretty good. For those of you that have been buying that bottom there, I think it was Ackman that, was it Ackman? I think closed out his short. You've seen a nice little move back up to the upside for the TLT. And then there it is, man, I don't know why I have XLK and the Qs on here. Both are technology. Again, this is an ETF. That's why we have it on there. The Qs, of course, tracks the whole NASDAQ 100 proper. So right there, 0.2% up for the NASDAQ. The only green market here today. We have a bunch that are kind of hovering, man. The SMH flat today. UNG pretty flat as, wow. And this is why Sharif always says that I grilled him on this. I did not. I was just asking him where his out was on UNG, and he told me that bottom, so he's now out. As that breaks back down below 6, into 5 and change. Look at gas. And again, this is what I said to Sharif. He's like, I'm in it because possible cold winter. And I said, actually, they're expecting a warm winter, but that doesn't necessarily, trades aren't that obvious. You know, like you can't necessarily just say, hey, winter's coming, therefore go long oil, go long gas. We've seen that trade blow up. That hasn't worked out. So there it goes, UNG to the downside. Oh, I'm not logged into the show right now. I'm going to call up YouTube and say what's up to everybody. Thank you so much if you're here. Make sure you hit, well, if you're here, I guess you're hearing this. Make sure you hit the like and the subscribe, as we'll do a little bit of a roll call right now. Why not? As we just open it up right now. Who's here with me? It's Ponzi Fonzie's here. That's good. What's up to Damien is here. Roger's here. Rainmaker's here. Winter equals cold. That is correct. And I said that to my wife last night. I'm like, man, I'm cold. And it's December 5th. So that makes sense. So we're down for that. It's actually not even that cold here right now. Checks my Apple wearable. It's 2 degrees Celsius. So you're looking at about 35 degrees Fahrenheit or so. Let's go, says Ryan. What's up, Ryan? What's up, Michael Lloyd? What's up, Pastor? Hey, you know what? Let's see how much luck we're having. Let's spin 200 right now on here. Spin 200. Let's see if that's going. What's up, Professor Love? Hey, it's a Jordan Love era right now. Shout out to that as we go. Did I just win? What's up, Joseph? Everybody there as well. I don't think Streamlabs is. Oh, Michael Lloyd gets the guys going. Boo, we go. Bell, rocket. Okay, let's push this to the side and talk about that later. Shout out to everybody that's here with me, man. Real traders stay late and real traders watch the Benzinga Pro platform right now. I have the Zoom meeting. I got to leave this meeting, guys. Zoom just popped up on my screen. I don't know if I just kicked out Brian or not. I don't know if he's here. All right, there it is right now. Let's see if anything reported earlier. Yext reported. What's Yext, they say? I don't know, what's next? Not Yext. All right, PayPal, okay, none of them reporting yet. We have on board, we're looking for MongoDB and Toll Brothers. So we will see if they come through. I wrote down TOLL. That's not right, it's Toll, right? TOL, isn't that right? Yeah, Toll. Can you go fix that? On my board over there, it's the second or third tab. It says TOLL, but it's supposed to be TOL. So Toll Brothers is what we're looking for. The name is TOLL, but the symbol is TOL. So we'll wait for that. If you could see it there on the second or third tab. Thank you so much for that. But let's quickly go over what's been happening there today. All right, there's the retail names, a little bit of a downside action. You know what I want to talk about in retail? I didn't actually notice this name, and it's going to be part of Sean's tweets, which is coming back later there. Close. I see. Did you find it yet, Fabian? It's just go to Chrome. No, only one thing open, but bunch of tabs. The big one. He'll find it. Okay, we'll not worry about it. Thank you, Ramin. I get obsessed with things, so thank you, Ramin, for putting me back on track right now. All right, look at Starbucks. This was really strange to me, man. I did not see this move over the last little while. From 107, we have about 13 or 14 straight down days for Starbucks. So again, I feel like some of the talk here is going to be China related, as China's been having some issues, obviously. We got a downgrade with China today. So yeah, back in there for Starbucks. I want to buy this, man. We talked about it. This is a weekly. Let me just call up a daily. Where is that 200 period moving average? We're well under it. Okay, so no, I'd like to see it come back now into 90 bucks. Normally I use the 200 period as some kind of support, but today, nah, there it goes to the downside. XLE is actually holding out okay right at the 200 period moving average as we worry. And again, retail's down. We have GameStop down today. We had Carvana down. We had Foot Locker and Nike, some of those names pulling back today, helping out the retail side of things. But there it is right there. XLE making a move back as well. Watch out for this break. 81.80 coming in on XLE. That's not looking very good. TAN, okay, so we had SolarEdge come out of the S&P the other day due to Uber. It's not out yet, but announced that they're coming out. It's actually Friday the 15th when that index action will happen. So you're going to get a lot of action in SEDG because that, although was only included in the S&P 500 about 2 years ago, coming out immediately after 5 consecutive negative quarters, being now joined with Uber with 5 consecutive positive EBITDA quarters. You can join on that news. IWM. So again, if you're looking for some weakness, I feel like as we talk more about rates, we actually called up the Fed rate tool. Let's look at that right now. Oh, first of all, did anything come out, Net? Oh, MongoDB is now out. So here's MDB. Let's see where this one reports into. Again, daily at the highs. Nice move back in for Mongo. Now crashing. Oh, I guess this is a decent crash. From 440 we just touched into 400. It's down 10% after a nice day for MDB, but it just ran right into its own resistance today up at 440. Comes back in. Let's check the Q for MDB right now. Okay, Dave & Buster's, nice little move for there. We can talk about them. There it is. Sees Q4 adjusted, so this is their forward look, actually positive. 44 to 46 versus 47. That's actually a nice forward look. Maybe we do get back, but here it is right now. Adjusted Q3, 96 versus 50, so that's a beat. Sales also a beat, so what's up with that? Downside number here for MDB, upside numbers, but downside move there for Mongo. So we'll have to find out more about it. I'm not gonna sit here and go through the numbers. We're just gonna talk about price action. It does look like they adjusted higher. There's Dropbox coming through again here. Oh no, this is Box, not Dropbox coming through. Or is Box, is that Dropbox? Quickly, hold on a second here. No, just Box. Drop is what? Drop? Yeah. No, that's Drop. No, I think Box is Dropbox. Anyways, that also making a move down into $25. Yuck. Not a great report here for some of these names coming through today. I just got updated on the ask about when, okay, so unfortunately we are getting delays on our platform for options trading. So I just got that note, just came in. So I do apologize for that coming through, but there it is, Box, downside. I think that is Dropbox because that is the symbol there. I feel like they might have changed that. Is it Dropbox? Okay, we'll get over that anyways in a second there. Check out our chat to see if anybody's in there. Sentinel-1 jumping as well. Okay, there it is. Right, so nice little move to the downside here for them. There's MongoDB. Still sees higher, so I feel like that's going to be a better name at some point. Dave & Buster's, that quarter, 12 cents in line, minus 12. Let's just see what's going on with Play right now. Quickly, PLAY, to see what's going on with these guys. Downside as well. Not a couple good reports coming through here. We don't like to see that as we're net long everything. FXI, okay, the Chinese name continues to make these downside push. Not great news there coming through for FXI as it has a nice little downside push there, making that move in. So we'll have to watch out for China. This is the large cap ETF. You could see Alibaba today can't get out of its way, a brand new 52-week low. Every single time we hit a low here, it's a brand new 52-week. This goes back to October. So if you're going to make that low, that's $63. Those are the market lows before we started to bounce back up. And what a great recovery it was for Alibaba as well. They doubled up from that bottom, but looks like we're coming back in on that. NIO had themselves a little bit of a day today as well, being up, actually only closes up 1%, but they started the day off really nice as well. Maybe we'll go back over to a 10-minute chart before fading out the rest of the day. There it is. Again, nice move. We said fade 8. Missed that fill. Nice move back in. Watch out for this 735, 736 tomorrow coming through for that one. But okay, that's a couple looks here today. XHB as we await Toll Brothers. So here is the housing ETF with DHR, Lennar, all these names in there. Nice little topside move as we wait for Toll Brothers. TOL, the name is TOLL, we talked about that. Not out yet, thanks Fabian for updating that one as we go. But right here, Toll Brothers coming into play. We'll wait for that report, and we will also wait for Brian Shannon to come through as well at some point. Thank you so much for that. Brian, I want to talk to Brian about a few things. We do want to look at the rise up in Ethereum. Nice move here for Ether up to 1860. This is the Ethereum Grayscale Trust. So there's that. And then what I was trading today was GBTC. Again, an extended move as Bitcoin touches 43.8 today before a little bit of a pullback. I don't have BTC up right here. We could probably search it though and get the chart on our Benzinga platform. Why not? For Bitcoin, as we can search out for that as we find out some news here on BTC here today. Yeah, Bitcoin bull frenzy hits 44K as futures market prices in a 10 to 12% rise into 2024. So more to come here. Dogecoin as well, moving back up. Ooh, 10 years since Dogecoin was minted. Nice move. That's 10 years, really. Wow. Nice move up there for Bitcoin and for Doge and the rest. What I was getting at about the Fed there, we had Frank Caberna come on. Look, this is what it is. I'm going to take a drink here quickly as Hydration Nation. Fuel up. Ramin doesn't have it anymore. I got to put it over here. All right. January. Interesting little take right here. There is now a 15% chance that we actually get a cut in January. December, January. I like. Possible move there. March. This is where consensus, or I couldn't say consensus, but majority, now 55% that we do get that cut coming through. That's the target rate come March. And then May is when it really starts to get juicy. And I've done this. It's 3 to 4 rate cuts projected for next year as we extend it all out. Let's go over to the December of 24. This is where there's a 30% chance that a year from now, we are 125, you heard me right, 125 basis points lower. That's what the market's pricing in right here, possibly 100.5 right there, 375 to 4. So pricing in a nice little cut heading into next year this is the end of next year. So, hey, will everything look different? Will Bitcoin look different a year from now? Of course. Will rates look different? Yes. Everything's going to look different, especially our markets there today. Today, not a great day. XLU. I like utilities. Again, nice move off the bottom, but still trying to hit above the 200 period moving average. What else? USO, yuck. I filled up this morning. Good gas price. I think it was like 138 a liter, which is pretty good. But 138 a liter, it's about 4 liters per gallon. Then you got to take in consideration that here in Canada, we also pay 38% premium on the exchange alone. But look at this, US oil making a move down as energy does hit a little bit lower. Okay, again, nice report there for MongoDB. I see Brian's looking at this maybe a little bit. Maybe we could talk to him about some levels of concern for MongoDB. And if you're looking for VWAP, what is anchored VWAP? Man, do we have a guest for you. Let's bring him on. It's Brian Shannon, it's Trader Talk. Let's roll. Hey, Brian, thanks for coming back. How was your day?
You know, I was pretty quiet here today, Sean. I didn't really see a whole lot happening. Held on to a couple little things, got stopped out of some swing trades, but pretty inactive for me. Nothing like the way you go at it each day.
Yeah, today was funny. I was looking down and at one point I had like 5 positions. I said to myself, like, what? Like 2 of them were long, 3 of them were short. And I'm like, what am I doing? And it's just the charts didn't really line up for a big play today. So I agree with that. I was looking at GameStop. All right, you've hit a couple nice trades for traders, or at least given some nice levels, areas of interest, I'll call them, because you're on the show with me. Anything on MongoDB? I see your charts are open now. Anything we want to talk about there?
You know, someone asked me, who obviously is a fan of this show, who said, hey, Brian, do you have any levels similar to the one in Netflix? And I said, sure. So I pointed out on Twitter that we have the anchored volume weighted average price from this gap right here on, what was that, November 7th, right, on this day right here. And that was our first level of interest where we had the potential to find some buyers. And if things got ugly, then the anchor from down here, that is the October 26th low, which we haven't hit. So right now, this seems, you know, that 400, it's a round number as well. It's also where we have that 20-day moving average. So I think it kind of came into where it was supposed to. And now it's, you obviously can't trade it on a 30-minute chart here after hours. If you're going to trade it, you've got to go down to much shorter time frames. And let's actually take a look at that. Why don't I have that? Here we go. So yeah, so we've got, we can put an anchor from the report even and say the sellers are still in control. If the if this buyers can kind of do something like this and push it back up above that VWAP, and then that VWAP from the earnings report starts to cradle it, then who knows, maybe it's going to go and fully recover the way a couple of these have recently.
And you're amazing at drawing those lines so quickly like that. Mine look like chicken scratch. I need that program there on the TC2000. Brian, come on, you nailed that again on that anchor VWAP. I mean, that's absolutely amazing. The bottom just happened to be about 4 bills, and that's exactly what you hit it out to. I wanted to ask you a question about that anchored VWAP. When you anchored that there, was that, you kind of picked the middle of the range? Is that the open? I know there was a bottom wick there that I was looking at, because I know there's a lot of traders, because you've shown so many key levels off of an anchored VWAP. Can we go back to that? I see it was around 360 or so. There's your screen right there where you had the anchor. Yeah, right where that green. No, I think it was that green little note. Yeah, right there.
Right there.
Yeah, what is that? Is that the open, the close, the high, the low?
That is a great question, and it's one that I get a lot. So it looks like it's maybe anchored towards the middle in there.
Okay.
And, you know, on some charting platforms like TradingView, they give you the option, do you want to anchor it from highs, or do you want to, it's actually not anchor from highs. The thing is that it's what it's measuring. Do you want to measure it from the high? So if people are looking at the high, they're just saying, I want the average of the volume at every single high here, or at every single low. And that's the wrong way to do it. What we want, the volume weighted average price gives us the average price for all volume is what we're looking for. So the most accurate way to set your scale is open, high, low, close divided by 4. That gives you all of the data. So often you'll see it is right around in that midpoint where it looks like it is. And that you will see, you know, if you put that on a chart, you know, I've done this before on a 1-minute time frame first thing in the morning.
Okay.
You'll see that little dot bouncing up and down as the actual VWAP changes.
I'm going to have to get some requests for an anchored VWAP there, because I don't have it on our platform here. And then I do have Trade Ideas, I know has it, of course, as you just mentioned there, and we also have eSignal. All right, Brian, I asked you to send me something here about either crypto and you mentioned Ethereum is something that you were been looking at. You're looking at that a little longer time frames than Bitcoin. So here's your chart. If you come over to my screen right now, Fabian, is that Fabian back there? All right. So right here we had the weekly. This is something that you tweeted out. Energy is building below the VWAP from the all-time high. So I'm not going to read this exactly, but here we go. There we go to the bottom there, 1560. I can see maybe we have a little bit of a base in and around 1900. Is this the gap fill that we're looking for, man? Is that 20, maybe 2400? This little green area now. Are we in a safety zone? And if so, is this our out right here at 1880 if we really felt like putting on a decent position right now in Ethereum?
Well, as you said, that was November 22nd, I think. And if you look at my screen now, we can look at it updated. And that what I was looking at, Sean, is just a couple of anchored volume weighted average price levels. The weekly chart is on top here. And that red line is, of course, the anchor from that all-time high. The blue one was this other important high. So what we were looking at is we kept hammering away at that anchor from the all-time high, and we saw energy building with these higher lows. We had the 50-day moving average, that's that blue line, cross up through the 200-day moving average, or 10-week and 40-week. And now we're making a run for this 2,400 level. So as far as, an out goes, 1,800 is so far away at this point. The way I'm looking at it is I'm staggering stops up underneath these higher lows with the rising 5-day moving average, and I'm about to lighten up near that 2,400 level.
I was just... My mistake there. They don't mute me, and I just said this is the best. I was looking at one of your tweets. I'm going to put up in a second right there. Okay, are you excited at all about the halving in Bitcoin? Is that something that? And I know we're talking about Ethereum a little bit, but we've had some experts on the show with Bitcoin, and I'm nowhere near that. Are you looking, again, just at a technical level, or do you sometimes wait for some of these events to take place? The halvings in May, that might be a little bit too long of a time frame for a trade like the one you were just explaining there.
Sure, and Adrian's probably the biggest expert you have on here as far as the crypto goes. He's great, but I'm aware of those. It's kind of similar to the news on equities each day when I come in. I look at the headlines to see what's driving the headlines, but I don't get into the numbers and try to figure them out and think that my opinion matters. If the halving, I want to know that a key event is coming, like a jobs report or like Federal Reserve. I want to know when it comes, but I try not to have any opinion about what they're going to do, because one, even if I get the opinion of what they're going to do, if I get that right, it doesn't mean I'm going to get the price action right. So I just want to see how prices unfold around a key event, make sure that I'm aware of these events so I don't get blindsided and I'm just there like a dummy getting run over going, what happened? Was there news? And it's something everyone was aware of.
I agree 100%. I mean, I don't think you can't, it's hard to trade around, it's not a random event, but we don't know if what that's exactly going to do. Just stick to your price level. And I think that having stop orders and things like that, so super important. All right, what do we make of the NASDAQ here, Brian? Because honestly, we're spending a lot of time kind of at these summer highs in the NASDAQ. I have the triple Qs here. It's 390 and change. We can look at the contract itself, but I mean, I'm thinking that we're getting a little exhausted. You and I have talked about SMH and NVIDIA. I mean, NVIDIA came out with a great report. It's pulled back 10% from that day, $500, and you talked about nailing that level, and you did exactly that. But guess what? We're right there right now. We're back down to 450. We're bouncing off a 50-period moving average here on the daily. I'm interested in this name. I actually think there's a chance that we can come back into 400 again. Like, am I crazy to think that? And if it does, I want to be buying it. I still like to play, and I know we talk about technicals all the time, but I still think you need to have a stock or have an idea on a macro level, then go backwards and find an area of support. So for me, I'm looking to maybe nibble here around 450 and potentially load up around 400. Am I crazy to think that?
No, I think, though, that if we were to drop all the way down to 400, it would have more serious consequences for the overall market. And that, we're in this seasonal period. The trends are higher. We're above rising 50-day moving averages, 200-day moving averages, et cetera. So for now, I look at it as innocent until proven guilty. And, when looking at the NASDAQ, for instance, as you know, my intermediate term, main indicator is that 5-day moving average. And we're below that. That's that orange line. We're below it, but I'm not bearish because the longer term time frame is still bullish. We're above, when we're holding this 20-day moving average, we've got a rising 50-day moving average. And that 20-day moving average can't, look at how far away we were at the same place just 2 weeks ago. And that is showing a nice time correction. There's still an underlying bid. Maybe it's not as aggressive, but we are starting to see that the buyers are showing a little bit of resilience in here. And I don't want to short it. So I want to, get aggressive when we have an alignment of trends. Right now, meaning we have an uptrend on the daily time frame and an uptrend on the shorter term time frame. These are the periods to push it. And then in here, we get more defensive. And I don't want to short. Maybe for day trades, I want to short in here, but I don't want to hold overnights because we can just as easily see that, kind of do this and rally back up and crush the shorts again.
Yeah, we talked about the put-call ratio on some of these, and on the NASDAQ, I still believe favoring the short. So I still think that we could get squeezed upside. I feel bearish the last couple mornings. I think for day trades, I'm with that, but longer term trend, I do like what you're talking about right there. All right, Brian, I'm gonna let you go in a second, but not before we talk about this, because this is hilarious. This is what I was laughing at right here. Go follow at Alpha Trends. I thought this is great because you know what? And I know you said definitely not photoshopped, but the thing about it, it's not. Yeah, definitely not. It's just AI, right? But you could see this guy's hand. That's how I knew it. But the funny part about this, Brian, is I have the book right here right now. That could be my family, actually, because it wouldn't be surprised if I did that. I'm going to do a very similar picture to that on Christmas morning. I'm going to send it to you, and we're both going to retweet it. I think that would be hilarious. But this is the book now. It's anchored VWAP, and hey, get it under the Christmas tree. Still time. They can go find you at Alpha Trend. There it is, at Alpha Trends, all that. You can get it on Amazon as well. And here we go again. I mean, why not? Come over to my screen again. Get both books. Get both books. So there it is right now. You can clearly see she's out. There's a book. Oh, it's open. It's open there. So she's reading it as we go. But again, hilarious stuff. A stocking stuffer nonetheless. I can never remember the title, so it's Maximum Trading Gains with Anchored VWAP. Where can they pick it up, Brian?
Amazon, and please don't do that to your family. I mean, if you can take the picture as a joke, but please don't read any of it to them on Christmas. That would just be cruel, Sean.
You know what I'm actually going to do, Brian? I'm actually going to I'm going to do this. Seriously, I'm going to take a video of it too. My wife sometimes watches this. I don't know why I'm talking lower because it doesn't really matter. She's not here right now, but I'm going to wrap it up and give it to her and then see what she says. And then once I'm kicked in the doghouse, I'll come see you and might need your couch. But all right.
You better have one of those goalie masks on.
Yeah, I have something. I have a couple other gifts for her she'll be happy with. So, who's your favorite? You watch hockey at all?
I'm not really much of a hockey fan. Sorry.
All right, no problem. Oh, let's ride though. You're a Broncos fan.
Yeah. But they lost, so they're kind of done, I think, for this season.
Are they? I was just going to give some props there. I mean, new coach Sean Payton, Russell Wilson's having a fantastic year, and the Broncos are showing some life. They beat the Buffalo Bills, which is no small feat there. So, all right, it's Brian Shannon. Thank you so much for all your time. Everyone can go find you on at Alpha Trends there. We still have the Twitter symbol. We got to change it over to X. But thank you, Brian, once again, and we'll see you next week. Have a great rest of your week.
You got it. Thanks, Sean. Thanks, everybody.
Hey, no problem. Thank you. That's Trader Talking. That's Brian Shannon. I keep saying like one of my favorite guests, but honestly, I mean, everybody we have on the show is absolutely fantastic. And look at him, nailed that. I mean, honestly, that MongoDB, I mean, next time I'm going to ask him for a call for tomorrow. He's not making a call, but that anchored VWAP went all the way down to 4.0. I think it was like 398, something like that. Look where we went down to today. We went down to 400. Now you're to 413. So let's follow that. If you don't understand anchored VWAP, definitely pick up that book. Thank you so much to Brian for coming through, man. That means a lot to me for sure. Okay, now the next topic here is Sean's tweet. So, all right. We talked about this on the main show. If you think this Bitcoin has room to run, you are right. I mean, this is not even an asset class yet, nor do I think it ever will be, but it's such a small portion of everything. Like, you can't even see it on here. I just thought this was interesting. I mean, when you mint 21 million Bitcoins, realistically, there's going to be a cap to how much we can expand on that. But the price, I mean, I think Kathy Wood's price target is 500,000. I don't necessarily think that's going to be right, but it's not that far away. 10x from here, it's far away, but we've seen stocks moon. I don't know if Bitcoin can do that or not, but there are some very, very exciting things. And again, world debt, 303 trillion. I mean, thanks for that. Gold, 12.2. So if you think Bitcoin and gold have similar value. I don't know. There, thanks to Ramin and Fabian for that one. That's pretty funny. But look at this. This is another one that I thought was pretty interesting. The top holdings in the S&P 500 index, right, by weight. Look at the top 10. They hold 32%. So we talk about the S&P 500. You can also look at the equal weight S&P 500, which is RESP. So if you believe that you want to be in the market, but you are very, very wary of all of these names, man, it's just the Mag 7 plus a few others. You know, Berkshire's in there. We know the problem with Berkshire is this should not be included, in my opinion, because Berkshire, half of their holdings are Microsoft. I think this should be kicked out. But UNH is legit. Everything else we talk about every other day, man. Tesla, Google, Meta. I just think this is a very, very dangerous situation. If the NASDAQ gives back, if anything happens in China, the big names will fall. So watch out for that. That's interesting. And then another post that I want to talk about, of course, this was not my post. I don't know I guess we got to go back right there, was this. And we've already talked about this a little bit. I was taken by surprise by this. I just thought it was interesting. What's up with that? Starbucks, a nice move back in. I feel like we can buy some of this. I'd rather get it in the low 90s. I first started buying Starbucks in the 50s. It's had a nice move up. We know that. I just very, very surprised. They say it's declined for 11 straight days. There was a green day in there, though. Its longest losing streak, look at this, 31-year history for Starbucks. 11 straight down days, give or take. So I feel like at some point, reversion to the mean, Starbucks has to go up a little bit. But hey, thank you so much for joining. We got to do a little bit of something called a roll call around here right now. So let's do that. Who's still with me? It's True Traders Stay Late. We talk about that all the time. I do also want to run through, thanks to Bears vs. Bulls in 1 second, everybody that super chatted us today. I will shout that out. There's only 5 or 6 names, so let's do that real quick. Hayes Records, Jimmy Mo. What up, Mo Jimmy? Part Shooter, Nick Dubb, and a happy birthday, a big one, to @JHaas. Big happy birthday to you, my friend, and thank you to Bears vs. Bulls for that one. But we got to do this, so we'll put some waves on here. Everyone wants to wave. Wave. Shout out to who's here with me. Let's go find out right now who's here. All right. It's Nunya Biz. Oh, no, this is, I got to zoom. All right. Let's go a little bit higher. 150% is too much. Let's go back. Let's just do 100 right now. Okay. Who's here? It's Rich Naples. It's Pranya. What's up, Pranya? I think you tweeted at me today. Shout out to you as well. What's up, Maurizio? A good friend of mine named Maurizio as well. Dr. Strange is in the building. Raju is here as well. Paulie D. Professor Dr. Love is here as well. Lava News. Trey Only. If it's not only, it's Trey Only. What's up to Alex Davis, Dr. Strange? Wuko is here. Again, Raju. The Boring Man. Never a boring day when we have the Boring Man. What's out to Dharmendra Patel as well. Howell Capital Trading. Thank you so much. I'm glad you enjoyed the show. But what you can do for me is hit the like, hit the subscribe. We're thinking about turning this into a podcast. So therefore, maybe if you're not watching it live, you can catch it after that. But that would mean more work over there. I don't know if that was a cough. Is that Ramin? Who's over there? I can't see. It is Ramin. Yeah, she doesn't want this to turn into a podcast. Respect for staying late every day with me as well. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I'm coming home, my wife, and I love you. Thanks to Brian Shannon for coming on today. It's Trader TV Live. It's the Market Recap Show, the best show on this network. See you guys tomorrow. Ciao.